What it do, everybody? Welcome back. TikTok Trash Tuesday in the house. Oh my goodness. I listen. I sound better than I did last week, so that's good. We are moving in a positive direction. It feels so. I'm all about that. We got a whole bunch of TikToks and stuff for us to talk about today, as per usual. Bronson walking around, clanking like a dog. I almost started just to say mean and horrible things, and we don't need to say any of that. But welcome back. Thank you for tuning in on this Tuesday, as we do. I want to say nearly every Tuesday. It's not every Tuesday. Every now and then we take a little skippy on this, but we're back here today, despite me being drastically tired. So just change my mind, change my spirit. Let's get these numbers up. Hit that like and subscribe button, as well as the hype button if you are on the mobile. And just say something in the chat. Write your favorite number. Whatever your favorite number is, write that in the chat and let me know the number below. I'm curious. I'm curious as to your number. All right. I got a whole bunch of stuff here today. We've been scouring the internet left and right. Can you have a seat there, bud? My God. And we got a whole bunch of TikToks filled with a whole bunch of bull crap here. Oh, see, here we go. Number 67, 67. Oh my God, everybody, we're doing it 67. Chicago, that's not the question. I understand that from the Chicago educational system. We asked for a number, not your location, but I will take that in the spirit with which it is given. 67. Do you play Roblox? Not on this channel. I don't. Not on any channel. As a matter of fact. No, that'll I don't know what you kids know about the old Roblox there, but that's gonna get you. That's gonna get there's some terrible people over there. That's all I'll say about Roblox and everything. Don't get on board with that. But yes, so every Tuesday I go out. Technically I do it during the week. But I go out to TikTok and I pull out what I hope are the best movie TikToks out there, because I only watch a couple seconds of them. I watch a couple seconds. I find out, is this going to be movie related? If I find that it is, and it's a subject that I want to talk about it, I stop it right there. I save it to my phone. At the end of the week, we put it all together in a big giant file. We send it out to me. And then we sit here with you, fine dirty babies, and we go over the results of all of those. And speaking of dirty babies, I want to say a giant thank you to all the dirty babies that support this show. Hold on, where's my flipping? There it is. Big shout out to all the Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/HMP. Those awesome people get pre-show, post-show, dinger show. These are the dirty babies. If you don't know what a dirty baby is, you probably were one, likely. Were you that stupid kid who kind of sat back and had to watch all the nerdy crap on television while your parents went out to work and everything? Or you were just kind of left to your own devices? You were that dirty baby that's sitting back there. Maybe it was a neighborhood. Maybe it was a trailer park. Maybe it was the inner city. You can be a dirty baby no matter where you're from. And so all of those beautiful, beautiful dirty babies that have helped support the show, anywhere between $1 and on up, those are the people that help keep this show flowing here and everything. And also the people that help keep the show flowing throughout all of these many years have been the beautiful people over here at YouTube, man. We've been kicking off here, and I'm starting to make some decent money here over on YouTube and everything. And it's because of all of you dirty babies. Thank you again so much for all of your kind words and many, many things over these years. Let's get into it. Wasting zero time. We got a whole bunch of things to talk about today. Some more TikTok Trash Tuesday. Let me change. I'm telling you, I cannot figure out how to get everything rolling here. Give me just a second, because I want this background to be a different color, so people can actually see the TikTok words I got in the background. And Bronson's still eating this bloody loud. Can you hear him? Does it sound as bad as it feels like it sounds? Because it sounds like he's yapping and crunching up a damn storm. That's just how he kind of rolls over here. But he's almost done, so we'll get into it. All right, boys and girls, let's kick it off. TikTok Trash Tuesday. Let's go. I said let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Cicada, a bamboo, Lovecraftian horror.
Well, I do see one thing here. This is at the Plaza in Atlanta, a fine theater in the Atlanta metro area. Independent. If you haven't visited the Vista in Atlanta, do yourself a favor.
We're at the Plaza Theater in Atlanta, Georgia.
I say Vista. I tell you, I've been there. I've literally been inside this building many times. I saw the 36 Chamber Shaolin there. A couple other flicks while I was in Atlanta for a hot second.
At the Buried Alive Film Festival. We made a film called Nymphal. I'm the writer-director, and this is the lead actor. Buried Alive is one of the coolest film festivals I've ever been to. I think it's really well organized. The film curation has been amazing. You can tell they put a lot of care into every aspect of it, and we're really excited to be here.
I was very glad that he didn't write any dialogue for me because I'm bad at memorizing lines. Basically, he just described over the phone like the kind of things he wanted me to do for each scene.
And then when we talked about the movie, it was a completely different thing because
and I cooked up some ideas and bounced them off. Made a lot of films before.
Yeah, we've made films together before. So we had a rapport going into it, and we had a lot of really good back and forth for scenes. You know, I was kind of weird when we were making it. There's like 2 or 3 moments where he really freaks out. I needed it to be a nice ramp up and not just be, you know, oh, he's freaking out again for like the 3rd time. The best way to follow my film work is my Instagram. The link tree there has a link to my YouTube where you'll be able to watch the film. We also have a trailer for our new film, Trevor Lies, and we'll be releasing there in the same spot.
Cool. Like I said, I had no idea what these movie TikToks are here and everything. And apparently Atlanta's got their own little extra film festival that I wasn't aware of. Very, very cool. I saw this comment. I completely agree. I have cheesecake. I wish I had cheesecake. I love cheesecake. Cheesecake's a good one, everybody. All right.
I mean, you think that he done brought you to the...
Is this the worst first date ever? Can anyone tell what we're looking at here by frame number 1? I think it's quite easy for those of you dirty babies out there who enjoy this. That is The Fly with Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. And yeah, that's their first date. I don't think a lot of people really realize that. It's like at the beginning of that movie, they're at a cocktail party, they're mincing around there and everything, and he's trying to impress her and all that kind of stuff. And like she's kind of playing the game here and everything. And yeah, she goes through and what she thought was just like, hey, here's this quirky guy who can play a little jazz piano and whatnot and everything. Let's see what he's got to. Oh my God!
To the back cave and just automatically started playing the piano. You talking about this is a bad idea?
Again, that's one of those things that is just like, oh, Jeff played piano, so we write in that the character can play piano.
It's giving Diddler.
Yeah.
It's giving. Is it not like this? I don't know. Beethoven, bruh.
Hey, what's that Ducati motorcycle part doing over there in the corner? Which, by the way, is what David Cronenberg modeled that little pod there after is a Ducati motorcycle part.
Now, what's that over there?
Designer phone booths.
Yeah.
Very.
You're right. I do see your comment. You're right there, Vanilla Ice looking fella.
I have the perfect stipulation.
All right, this is sneak preview. I did, and this was an accident that I put this. I'm going to skip over this. That's a Bruce thing you can't know about, kids. Sorry, that's a Bruce secret lab that I'm not going to be. I can't give that out to the public. There, keeping it quiet.
Have you noticed the resurgence of the hot chick?
Talk to this one.
Okay,
let me tell you something, boys and girls. Because I don't have any money right now, I haven't gone to see this new Sam Raimi flick. But if there's anything that's going to get me to go to a Sam Raimi flick, you know it's going to be Rachel McAdams. I think I'll be all right with that.
Let me tell you, because I don't care what people say about the movie. It is a pop culture mainstay. Everyone knows the poem. Everybody.
Are we the same age? We were probably in the same era. There's like a window era that like this wasn't, it's not like it's researched for me. I'm sure just like you, like I loved this movie as a kid. Rachel, maybe until now, thought that this was like a bit that I would do to her, but I would literally just be like, I love the hot chick so much. And she'd be like, she'd crack up and like.
You're making fun of me.
I know.
It's no, and that's what he said. He was like, I'm not.
April.
Gosh.
Listen, you know, there's something to be said about movies that you watch when you're younger. Even if they may not be considered, you know, wild, crazy cinematic awesomeness here and everything. Sometimes they're just fun. Sometimes they're just fun, stupid flicks that you remember from being a kid, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, it's.
Can I pay you to say the N-word? You can attempt. Yes, please attempt.
It's,
You know,
it's
boys
genius.
are cheats and liars.
They're such a big disgrace.
They will tell you anything to get to second baseball. Baseball, he thinks he's gonna score. If you let him go all the way, then you are a whore.
Their culture studies flowers, geologist studies rock.
See, and like you can see Rachel McAdams jumping out of her skin here and everything, but it's cute. It's cute. It's like that's awesome when a movie affects you that way, where you can just kind of like start prattling it all off here and everything. That what was funny about watching the Ninja Turtle movies on 4K from Arrow here and everything was watching those back and just realizing how much of it I knew, just every single word, just bar for bar. It's pretty amazing.
This is where I get really lost.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I
That's
got
where I
stuck
lost
to the
it too.
end. And dancing bears named Chuck.
Nice. Oh my
All
god.
guys
I
really
can't believe
wanted
we got
to.
so far. That was so.
Rachel wants to die right now. She's putting on such a brave face, but she's like, "Oh my god, this is embarrassing. How do I get through this?"
Haven't done it in so long.
Poor everybody. This is a great one. I watched this. I don't normally watch the full TikTok, but I did watch the full one of this one with Jodie Foster here. This is a good one. Think about this.
Who forgets that I was the original Annabelle in Freaky Friday is AI. So if you go on like ChatGPT or any of those things and you say like, hey, what are the Freaky Friday movies? They say there was an original, which is the original with Jamie Lee Curtis. And then there's the second one that just came out. And they don't mention me. AI has no recollection.
Have you ever seen Jodie Foster this happy? I think that's the way that we get Jodie Foster, to start having she's doing fine, don't get me wrong, but have an even bigger career than she has right now. It's just like, stop it. Just ignore all the things that she's done in the past. Look how happy she is not to be remembered for the original Trading Places. Or Freaky Friday, whatever the fuck. It's all the same shit. But to have her be the original gal and then to go like, we don't even know what that is. What are you talking about?
Of the 70s. I haven't seen the brand new one, but I did see the other one. And of course, I love Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. And it is funny how different it was, right? Because it was a different time period and all of that. And Jamie and I laugh about that because she's a very good friend of mine. So we do laugh about how we were in that same movie.
I do love how she is just so happy not to be included with something. That is so anti-Hollywood. It's fantastic. Where she's just like, they don't remember. I'm so happy they don't remember me. Oh, it's great.
What's the problem with de-aging technology? Shouldn't we be celebrating revolutionary visual effects breakthroughs?
We should, but the problem is that even though that we have those, there's many cases with which we don't know when and how to implement those special effects properly. The Irishman is a fantastic example of it being shown to us in a horrible way. Because number one, the de-aging wasn't all that good in The Irishman. Like, it looked okay, like from a technical standpoint, but when you had guys coming out later and like literally doing better jobs of it for free on the internet, that's when you got to go, hey man, maybe you rich Hollywood boys ain't all you cracked up to be. Is some jamoke out in Wisconsin or whatever who's got a copy, a blender, can put together a better looking version of a Hollywood special effects than you did with your untold millions of dollars. But again, the problem with that then is let's just say that it looked as good as the secondary market ended up making it. The problem again with this was that, like, and I love Martin Scorsese. I think we're all big giant Martin Scorsese fans here, and if you aren't, get out. But I think even we have to sit back and look at it at an objective pace and say Scorsese screwed up when he was doing The Irishman, because he was putting the face and performance of this, 80-year-old actors, but putting them in young face, essentially putting them in young face, but their bodies are still all old. If you would have put their faces on like a younger body and stuff and had somebody that was like more spry and everything, that would make more sense. But when a 40-year-old man goes to beat up on somebody and he moves I beat him up, it doesn't sell. It doesn't sell.
Well, let's look at Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which is maybe the most advanced example of de-aging. Most of the movie features old Harrison
I hope we go
Ford
back to that picture, because I want to see that halo of light over that dude's bald ass head again. That was fun.
Old Indiana Jones, but the movie begins with a 20-minute prologue set decades earlier. In every film in the series...
which was decent. It was like it was okay. It was okay. It was one of the more fun parts of the movie. For Frank, I thought I was afraid for that. Actually, I was afraid when I was watching the movie. I was like, are we going to? How long is the flashback, so to speak, in this movie? And it wasn't nearly as. It was longer than I expected, but not nearly as long as I suppose that it could have been. Given all the circumstances.
Indiana Jones is always introduced in dramatic fashion.
Except for Crystal Skull, where they made it bad, and then George Lucas comes out and or Spielberg comes out and goes, "Yeah, that's George's idea. That's George's idea."
Here, the film begins with the Nazis dragging a captured man out of a truck with a bag over his head. They throw him onto a chair to be interrogated, and as the camera pushes in dramatically, the bag is pulled off, revealing what looks like Harrison Ford circa 19...
Looks pretty good, doesn't it? That's not bad. As far as de-aging and stuff goes, that's not bad at all. I don't mind that. I am okay with that. And I remember seeing that on screen, and there were a couple moments where you're just like, that's pretty good.
1989. Normally, we would watch this scene thinking, oh boy, I wonder how Indy got into this mess and how he's gonna get out. But instead,
oh my God, look at this. Look at that halo of bald. God, it's beautiful.
Here we're thinking, yeah, the VFX looks solid. Yeah, that looks like him. Look how his eyes move, and that smile seems correct. And then he speaks, and we hear the voice of an 80...
There you go. Thank you. That is another element that they are not taking into consideration, is these old ass voices. Your voice, is going to be a lot tighter and a lot crisper and stuff as you age. It's going to drop an octave. Everything's going to go south, right? So if you don't change that, if you don't compensate for that, and that's what also again, the last couple of what you call them, James Earl Jones voiceovers as Darth Vader and everything, you could hear the old voice in there. Now it just sounds like the AI voice because they've, kind of gotten permission to do that and everything. But even then, that still doesn't quite sound right. And these guys, they got to understand that you have to do with the AI voiceover what you do with the visual. You've got to marry those two things, because if they don't, you have an inconsistency and your movie starts to suck. So what you need to do is go through and take those voices and use the AI to kind of youngify the voices and everything. And I feel like that should be the easiest bit of all of them to do.
Year-old man coming out of a much younger body.
You got a lot of nice stuff. Other people's stuff.
And so
see, exactly. It's like, why not boost that? Why not, just tweak it a little bit, bring his voice up, flatten it out, smooth it out. There's so much that you can do, and you've got so much at your disposal. Why are you sitting on your hands on this with Lucasfilm? It's surprising.
For this entire 20-minute sequence, which is trying so hard to convince us we're watching a long-lost Indiana Jones movie, every time Ford's face is on screen, we're ripped out of it. Even if we're not actively trying to, we are subconsciously scrutinizing the effects.
Yeah. 1000%.
Noticing split-second moments where the movement isn't quite...
Yep. Because there's always these tiny little moments. And honestly, the thing about it is less damning of CGI, I would say, and more appreciative to us and what our eyes and minds and everything have evolutionarily made us learn at a subconscious level. Because that's what all of this is. It is when you see something that in that uncanny valley, when you see something that's not quite right, that is your brain defending you. That is your brain going, something's not right here. I don't agree with this. That's why we push back on that, because it's against our actual nature, because it's something that we know. It's something that is very, very familiar, but it's something about it ain't right. That's what bad CGI does. It makes you feel like something just isn't quite there.
Quite right. Even though we know from behind-the-scenes material that Ford was there on set giving this performance, it still feels like a fake. There's just no getting past the de-aging, and it sinks the whole sequence.
And doesn't it work easier and stuff in movies like your new Planet of the Apes films and everything with that CGI? Because like they're monkeys with humanoid characteristics and everything, so like they don't have to be quite on point, so you just like you buy them a lot easier and you kind of throw away that thought. But when it comes down to humans and stuff, our minds just go like, hey, that ain't real. Patrick H. Williams there on YouTube. Check out that full video. I agree. That's go check it out there. What's next? I'm dying over here. My gosh.
Bookmark this video if you're looking for a 2026 horror release schedule of sorts, because
all right, our buddy Pat here is back to talk about the 2026 horror films that coming up, man. And we'll be talking about at least one or two of those horror films that came out this past week here and everything, because we're going to have a little discussion on that. But let's see what Pat's got us for the upcoming year.
These are the horror movies I'm looking forward to seeing the most this year. Hokum, a supernatural witch movie starring Adam Scott. And with screenshots like this, it has the...
Jesus Christ. Oh, I don't know about all of that. I don't know which way I am even falling on this. It's like half of me just goes like, oh, that's stupid and dumb. And there's another half that goes like, I don't want nothing to do with that. Oh, my God.
Possibility to be the most disturbing movie of the year. There's been 7 Resident Evil movies, none of which are good, but
True, but you can watch they're to a point. Watch
2026 marks the 30th anniversary for this gaming franchise. Can Zach Kreger deliver on a new vision?
It's gonna be an interesting see. I'm interested to see it because he's a far better director than your Paul W.S. Anderson. That's for sure.
I think he can. And if Return to Silent Hill can competently deliver as well, this could be the year for horror game adaptations.
Yeah, no kidding. And that's we're still half the guys that were involved in the last Silent Hill flick are coming back from this one or whatever. And that one was, while not perfect, was decent.
The Backrooms is the newest from A24, and it's loosely based off of a creepypasta of the same name.
Oh man, they've been talking about this one for fucking years and stuff, man. The YouTube kid that did the Backdoors video, if you guys have seen that, or the Backrooms video rather. Wow, yeah, this has been in development for a while, so it's finally glad that something's moving with it.
This promises to be a lo-fi existential nightmare, and I can't wait. 2023's Evil Dead Rise absolutely ripped, and we're getting another standalone movie in this franchise with Evil Dead Burn.
I agree that I went into Evil Dead Rise not with very high expectations. I didn't really know exactly what I was expecting even going in, because I didn't like the remake of the Evil Dead / whatever the fuck you want to call it from what's that Spanish cat's name that did all those flicks. But yeah, I didn't think that movie was great, so I don't know what I was expecting going into Evil Dead Rise, but the way that they told the story and stuff with Evil Dead Rise and the fact that it wasn't quite, one-to-one connected with the other stuff was really great. So that gives me a little bit of hope for this movie, is that if they keep along that same vibe, because Evil Dead Rise was fun, was scary.
Say less. And of course, Robert Eggers returns with a Middle English werewolf adaptation.
Oh boy. I wonder what that's going to be like. Is it going to be just like Nosferatu, but with a werewolf instead of Nosferatu? I think so.
On Christmas Day. And again,
holy shit, all the way on the end of the year, eh?
Less. Sam Raimi also returns behind the camera for his first horror movie since Drag Me to Hell.
Bruce Leslie has seen it and says good stuff from it. It definitely needs to be on the list.
I will be in theaters day 1 for Send Help. 28 Years Later was one of my favorite horror movies from 2025.
I liked it. It was the 128 fill in the blank movie that I actually enjoyed. I didn't get to see Bone Temple though.
And I trust Nia DaCosta to deliver with the Bone Temple.
Well, it did not make any money. We can say that.
Clayface may not look like a horror movie by all outward appearances, a DC movie about a lesser known Batman villain, but this is written by Mike Flanagan himself and described as a body horror origin story.
Okay, listen, if they do this right, and that's how I've been kind of like looking at the Clayface character for so long. And we did way back in the HMP days, Volume 1 days here and everything. We did an episode on that 2-parter in the Batman the Animated Series. Is it called Feats of Clay? Is that what it's called? That introduces his character in this way and everything. And I thought that would be a better version, obviously, but I thought that episode would be a fantastic episode to kind of like flesh out into a movie this kind of failing actor and everything who's who's, he's aging out of his stuff and everything, and goes to, this procedure to try to help all this stuff, and then things go bad. And out by Mike Flanagan, I'm excited for that bit.
Hell yeah. Call me a rube, call me a simpleton, but don't.
Yeah, I'll call you one of them. I haven't seen. Listen, I saw a couple Insidious films. I saw the first one, and then I think I saw maybe the last two, maybe in theaters, because we were like, we were doing the film fine, and I was just watching everything at that point.
Call me late for dinner.
But not a big fan of the Insidious series.
Because I'm excited for another Insidious movie. I loved both Curry Barker shorts, and I'm excited to see what he can do with a full length. And I specifically avoided the trailer for Obsession because I want to go into this as blind as possible. This has the possibility to be one of the best horror movies of the year.
See, and I don't know nothing about it, and I'm not going to know anything about it. I'm going to take Pat's word on this, and I'm going to look at the Obsession, and when I see that in theaters, guess what we're going to do? We're just going to go. That is the way to do things, people. Get a little bit of word of mouth from somebody and go see something. Feet of Clay. Thank you. Thank you, MBD. Appreciate you, bud. What's next?
Nigga, y'all remember you had to.
How crazy it's crazy how much work this took. Oh my God, this is very true. I think I stopped this on the second that I saw this little clip, and I was like, yes, this is something we need to talk about. Life used to be more difficult, children.
You had to actually go and get a newspaper to see what type of movies was gonna be in this shit. Niggas didn't have internet and shit, bro. Nigga had to go after, find a little junkie on the street who's selling newspapers and shit. Pay him
Find a junkie.
50 cents for a newspaper. That shit sound crazy. And then get the newspaper. And then
50 cents. What are you on? What is it? Sunday?
you read what type of movie. That's how I knew we was going to the movies. Cause my mama always buy a newspaper. I'm like, oh my shit, we finna get a news. We finna go to the movies. I be just like this. Shit, I be like, cool. Let me get fly, get fresh. Even though I ain't had no drip back then, but fuck it. Then nigga, look at this shit. You got Transformers. We can go watch the Transformers. Bad Teacher. Green Lantern.
And listen to how long ago that was. That wasn't that long ago. Those movies aren't that old. The Green Lantern. Holy wow.
Mr. Popper's Penguins. I remember that for X-Men.
I didn't get that far. It's like, you remember those old timey films like a Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds? These classics.
There is no reason this dude right here needed to be that scary.
Yes, that is 1,000%. That's where I stopped this, because I was like, I agree with this. We don't necessarily need to go further to learn anymore, but I figure we might as well. Let's see what he's got.
Like, there's not one logical reason he needed to be that scary. With no exaggeration, this is one of the scariest horror.
Sunken in eyes, those friggin' teeth, the hat, the way that the angle that they shoot him at and everything. No.
Villains of all time. If you've never seen this scary son of a bitch until now, let me introduce you to Reverend Kane. He was the villain in Poltergeist 2, and I cannot describe to you how unsettling he was. I don't even know if unsettling is the right word. This guy is so creepy. He walks around the whole movie just dressed in turn-of-the-century clothes, and he's singing Bible hymns, talking weird to kids. And all that being said, I don't hate Poltergeist 2. As a matter of fact, I love this movie. I just hate this guy. But if we're talking about Reverend Kane, we need to talk about the actor who played him. His name was Julian Beck, and during the filming of Poltergeist 2,
he killed 78 people.
He had terminal cancer.
Okay, maybe I was wrong.
And he was fully aware of it, and he was aware that his looks were fading. So
can I say this too? Just I'll jump in for half a second here. It is interesting when actors know about their own demise here and everything. And think about it with the last Final Destination flick with Tony Todd and his like great story. Like they're for essentially the viewers more than anything, talking about death and living on and stuff like that. So I love when they can kind of take something from their real life and really kind of throw it in there and give like a more weightiness to the acting.
He leaned into it to play the scary role. Like, that's so punk rock, that is so badass. He didn't have to do that for us because this was so effective. Was I alone on this? Was I the only one afraid of Reverend Kane?
Hell no, he's creepy as all get out, dude. You got all right to be afraid of that, man. No, that dude. If that was your sleep paralysis demon, you're out of luck, Jack.
Is it controversial to say I do not want another series Batman movie?
It depends on what you mean by series Batman movie. Let's see what she's got.
Stop making him trying to make him realistic. Like, stop. I'm tired of it.
I agree to a point. Let's see where she's going.
Seen it? I'm bored. I like the Batman movie I thought was really good. But in the DCU, give me a different Batman, like, world completely. I want ridiculousness, okay? Like, I want the fantasy villains to be in play more, and they just, like, don't do that ever.
I understand what she's saying. And to a degree, I suppose I could, agree with it. But like MVD says here, and he's being funny, he says, bring back Schumacher. That's funny, but that does sound like what she's asking for, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Oh, okay, there you go. Not. Not. So, no. What a terrible, terrible idea. I don't know why we need that. Honestly, we started to get there a little bit with Batman, and frankly, I think we've gone so long now that I don't know that we can really get back and on kind of that stride there again and everything. But I liked what Matt Reeves was doing with Batman. That's kind of like, year 2 or 3, whichever it was, of kind of this, naive-ish sort of Batman, and whatever the next one will be kind of a furtherization of that character. Maybe the tech gets a little bit better. Maybe he becomes more of a proper detective here and everything. But there was detective work and stuff that was done within that movie, and that is frankly what I think was missing from Batman for so long. Was the detective comics are it's Batman, everybody. He's a detective. Hello.
It's a comic book. I want it to be comic booky, okay? Like
nipples on Batman. That's what I'm looking for, okay?
how like the Superman movie was. I want it to be like that for Batman. I've had it with these like normal.
And I think that you will get, for what she's asking for, I think that you will get that. And again, who knows how the world works right now. But given the environment that we're in right now, I think that you would get a Batman that's closer to what she's thinking of and what she's imagining in her head. Maybe not nearly as wacky. But under the James Gunn, umbrella there and everything, I think that there's a chance for them to get closer to a version of Batman that I think this girl would like, as opposed to other folks out there. Does she know about the 1966 Batman? That's my question. If she's tired of serious Batman, she has 3 seasons and a movie of that. Absolutely. Absolutely. You want to see the ridiculousness of it? Adam West Batman is right. It's right there.
People becoming like villains, like half-ass
I see what she's saying. She wants Egghead as a villain. I see what she's saying.
costumes. No, give me the full goofy costume, okay?
Oh,
The next time I see Riddler, he better be in a full-on green suit with little question marks on it, okay?
If it's, I don't like the question marks on it. I don't like, she does want Schumacher, doesn't she? I want it spangly. I want it tight on Jim Carrey.
I want Poison Ivy. And I want
This girl just, she watched the Schumacher film.
her using actual magic to move plants. I don't want it to be some BS where she just like is a gardener or something, okay?
I think if you do have a Poison Ivy character, she needs to be a lot more like the comics, a lot more like the games. I thought in the Arkham Asylum games and stuff like that, I thought Poison Ivy was depicted really well and could have used a movie translation kind of like that. I think it's very, very cool.
Give me the fucking Bat Family. Please give me the Bat Family. Please.
No. What do you want, Damien running around?
Like, there's so many iterations of Batman out there, and my favorite have always been the animated ones.
No
Arguably, the best Batman movie is Lego Batman.
It's a good one, but come on. I really enjoyed it.
And that's not to say I didn't like previous Batman films. It's just like, I'm over it. I want, like, something different and new and more comic.
He goes, I want something more adult, but more childish. Come on.
Book. My favorite Joker is obviously Heath Ledger.
I mean, it's like my favorite color is green.
But next one, if we get another live action one, I want all the white face paint on him. Colorful suit. I want him looking ridiculous, okay?
He still looked a little ridiculous.
Send this to James Gunn.
Yeah, send it to James Gunn, everybody. I've never seen the Lego Batman movie, says John. You should. It's really good. The Lego Batman movie, it's very much aware of what it is. Michael Cera as Robin is fucking hilarious. It's really, really good. It's a good time that pokes fun at Batman in I think the best of ways as a big Batman fan myself.
Movie trope that bothers me: when two people are in a nightclub and there is music banging around them, but they are still talking at normal volume.
Oh, he is correct. I hate that too. And that's why you got to have somebody that knows what they're doing. Now, take, for example, a great example of this, and somebody that does it the correct way, is David Fincher. David Fincher in The Social Network. There's this big scene where the Zuckerberg character, played by Jesse Eisenberg, and the Napster kid, played by Justin Timberlake, are having this conversation in a club and everything. And obviously, you know, there's a big giant music and stuff going there. But when these two actors are there, what they do smartly in a lot of these times is they'll play like the actual playback music, and they'll play it like really loud so they can kind of get like a register as to how loud this music is. Then it ducks down for their lines and everything. So then they can just continue to talk really loud as if that's still going, because that's the level that you got to be at when you're talking with someone when there's a lot of music coming from the club. So you have to get up to that really loud level, because if you're still talking like this while all the is going on, it's bullshit. Yeah. Good filmmakers will remedy that.
Like they'd actually be able to hear each other.
You can hear each other in those situations, but you could only do it if they are doing what you normally do in real life, which is projecting much louder.
We have a crisis going on in film schools, because what do you mean most film students don't actually want to watch movies anymore?
Brother,
this is
let me tell you something. Ain't nothing changed. There is a weird bit of it, man, because dig this. I went to film school in 2003, and there were cats in there who, as much as you would think, weren't interested in watching certain things, or weren't like, it wasn't like a curious thing to them. Like we mentioned it while we were talking about Amelie, and there was a guy who was like, he's seen Amelie. He saw, Children of the what you call it there, the other one, but he hadn't seen like Pulp Fiction, something like that. And it was just like, what are you even talking about? And then it would go on to further things, like, because, for example, we had the Lord of the Rings Trilogy Tuesday while I was going to film school. They sold out in Orlando in like 2 minutes, all the tickets. So I had to get tickets to Tampa. So I had to drive from Orlando to Tampa to see 3 Lord of the Rings movies, all the extended ones, back to back to back. No one I went to film school wanted to go. It's like, what are you guys talking about? The culmination of all 3 of these films coming together, The Return of the King is now debuting, and you guys don't want to go spend 12 hours in a movie theater watching some of the best shit you've ever seen? What's wrong with you, dog?
Breaking my brain, this article that I saw yesterday, because what do you mean most film students going to film school have only seen Disney movies? What do you mean most of them don't want to see Francis Ford Coppola's The Conversation, one of the greatest films ever made? What do you mean the fact that, when you can track how many movies students are...
This pisses me off, dude, because like even as a kid, I knew that I wanted to know more about movies. When the AFI, the American Film Institute, came out with their top 100 films of the last 100 years, so it's 100 films of the American Film Institute, and so they brought up 100 years of film, and there was this big giant checklist, and it came on at least for me, on a Blockbuster video calendar, and it was the last page of this calendar, and so it had all of the movies there, and each of them had a checkbox by it. And my goal was, before 18 years old, to have seen all 100 of the top 100 films of the last 100 years, and I did it with ease, and it was so much fun. And I was like, I was a teenager, and I'm going like, I want to watch movies from the 1920s and the 1910s and stuff. I want to see, like, and as a big movie fan, I wanted to see where all the movies that I love came from, where, what was attractive about all that stuff.
Watching, less than 50% are actually starting the movie, and about 20% are actually finishing them, and most people are just multitasking while watching movies. This is not an individual failure, this is a societal failure, and I want to talk about ways that you can actually change and shift your attention span in order to...
Start hitting kids that aren't paying attention to stuff. Just kind of... Give them one of them.
Watch movies, because I don't think this is sustainable. You can do things to make your attention span better. When you go into the movie theater, right, put your phone away. I don't know how many people are young people who are in the...
Okay, I'm going to go one further, because I don't think you should just put your phone away. Frankly, if I had my druthers, it would be just like a comedy club, and your phone would be in a Ziplocked pouch that gets put in a little safe thing until you come back. And the movie's over, then you can go and retrieve your item and then go home. That's what my druthers would be. But save for that, you should turn your phone off, not to silence, not to airplane mode, to off. Because you know what you won't be doing when the movie's on? Fumbling, getting your phone out, turning it on, waiting for everything to bug, because it's too much shit. It's too much shit to do. Turn your phone off, leave it in your pocket, and watch the movie. Oh my God, enjoy the film, heaven forbid.
This category who are also texting while being in the movie theater, put your phone away. Go to the movie theaters alone. Don't have anybody you can talk to.
And we need somebody in like in a darkened theater that just kind of like has tranquilizer darts. That whenever they see somebody with that, they just go and then go, and then they just fall asleep for the next 45 minutes, and they wake up
and just watch the movie. And I think for people who are just watching Disney movies, watch more movies. Watch things that you think, why would I like this, even though I know it's a critically acclaimed?
I mean, there are still so many cats out there that are like in the year of our Lord 2026, they say, I don't want to watch a black and white film. And what?
Just watch the movies. Watch more. Watch so much more. Watch movies with subtitles. Watch movies that aren't in English.
Oh, another one. Yeah, absolutely.
So you have to pay attention more. Do things to set yourself up for success, and don't kind of put yourself in this situation, because I guarantee if you're not watching movies, you will not get how to make movies. You need to watch movies in order to learn more about movies. I'm not doing this to preach to the choir. I'm just saying this. You have to expand your horizons. You have to test yourself. You have to push yourself. It is a challenge. It is a work to love movies. You must become obsessed with them, because my God, if you don't care that much about movies and you're making them, it shows when you make a movie.
Yes, when you look back at directors like Steven Spielberg, like Quentin Tarantino, like any big name director that you've seen, your Ridley Scotts, all that, they all are movie fans. All of those guys love movies. That's why they're great filmmakers, because they have a love and appreciation of these movies. We just don't, if you don't have that, he's 100% right. If you don't have that, what's you're barking up the wrong tree as far as professions go. That's for sure. MVD says, I enjoyed the Arkham games. Poison Ivy was one of my favorite parts, and not just because she was dressed in tight, intimate skirt. And yeah, exactly. That's right. I mean, like, listen, but it looked good too. Didn't it look good? It like great design on that. I wish we'd take like fuck, man, just make an Arkham movie,
So this is funny. This is on Friday.
All right, so this here's Markiplier, everybody. Markiplier is a big, giant, successful YouTuber here. Real name Mark Fishbach, and he's a successful guy. He does a lot of great stuff. I've enjoyed some of his content over the years. I've never been the biggest of Markiplier fans, but I don't dislike the guy. I think he seems like for the most part, a genuinely decent kind of dude here and everything. Far too handsome, and his voice is just too mellifluous for everyone. I think he needs to stop that. That's a little bit annoying. But I do enjoy Mark's programming. I think he does a good job here, and he directed a movie called Iron Lung, which was out this week in theaters, made a whole bunch of money, and then Hollywood decided that Mark's movie didn't count, which is a little bit sus.
Box office numbers. I'm number one, right? I milked.
You're not the only person to say this, MVD. Markiplier is swole Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I've been hearing people say that. So, or something akin to that. So you ain't the first. You won't be the last, I don't think. Look at Bronson up there on the couch where he's not supposed to be. Isn't that great? He just does it right in the middle of the show. He's just like, I'm going to sit on the couch. Well, I'm going to sit on the couch because you're not going to yell at me. You're not going to yell at me on camera. You're not Hassan Piker, so you're not going to shock your dog. You're just going to let him be. He's going to sit on the couch. I need a new couch, everybody. Hit that like and subscribe button. He's damn near ruined it. But here's Mark talking a little bit about what's kind of happened with his movie, and the folks over there at the Internet Movie Database, and in conjunction, because they bought them, Box Office Mojo. a little shenanigans going on. Let's see what Mark's thoughts are.
Did a lot. I said it. It was very funny. I knew that Sam Raimi's movie was going to pass me eventually by the end of the weekend, but I was like, haha, I'm number one. But then I didn't see this yesterday, but here's Saturdays. So this is Saturday, right? I swear I was on this list, but Iron Lung isn't here anymore. There's no numbers for Iron Lung. They took me off the chart. And I thought, hey, maybe that's a fluke. maybe there's something wrong, but here's Sunday. I wake up this morning, which reports the day before's numbers. I'm gone. I'm not even above Hamnet. I'm nowhere. Zootopia's back up here. Avatar's up here. Melania's up here. I feel like I should just, like maybe I'd be fine with here. I'd be fine with being on the chart. Why'd you take me off the chart? I feel like I deserve to be on the chart.
He does. He deserves to be on the chart. And I've got some fantastic news here for you, kids. Let me get this and put this up. Markiplier back on the charts, everybody. Check them out. I'm going to try to make that a little bit bigger. So Iron Lung is back in here. $17.5 million right under Sam Raimi's Send Help. Worldwide, $20 million worldwide for a movie that had zero marketing, zero push and everything. It was just literally Mark on his YouTube channel going, hey, go please watch my stuff. And then there's a reason that I kind of do want to watch this movie, and I almost watched it today, but the movie theater closest to me only has one showing, and it was at 7 p.m., and I wanted to do this show today, so I didn't go watch it. But Mark has kind of has done some like horror elements and stuff in his videos and whatnot in the past. So I've been I'm curious as to see what he had cooked up there for us and everything. But I've also seen some people say, like, there's been mixed things, good stuff, bad, not necessarily bad stuff, but people are saying, hey, it's not perfect, but Mark's swinging for the fences here and everything. And for a movie again that had $0 behind it compared to everyone else in Hollywood, $19 million is not bad. And that does have to have Hollywood shaking in its boots a little bit, going like, oh, geez, I don't know what this is. And this guy did this with $0 and came in just under Sam Raimi's film, which, cost a lot more than that. All right, let's go.
These TIE Fighter targeting computers are pretty iconic imagery, featuring heavily in the decisive moment of the climax of A New Hope.
Always thought they were very cool looking.
And yet this detail, which has been on screen in front of our eyes since day one, has kind of gone unnoticed. There's quite a bit of text on these screens, but what does it actually look like up close, and what does it say?
The
original Star Wars trilogy has been scrutinized like no other film franchise in history. And between millions of fans watching these films, it's amazing that new discoveries are still being made over 40 years after the release of the original film. And today, I'm excited to share yet another discovery. Due to the small text size and the generous light bloom around the letters, the text on these targeting computers is basically unreadable, the exception being the more legible numbers, which have been identified for a while, including this cheeky 1138 reference.
Oh, shockaroo.
Even in Rogue One, the designers at Blind Limited, who have handled most of the screen graphics in live-action Star Wars since 2015, and who took a great deal of care to match the aesthetic details of the screen graphics, actually cheated a little bit here, using a different font for the numbers and completely obscuring the text with...
Boy, I hope somebody got fired for that. Ugh.
Blown out light bloom. And what this suggests is that even the Lucasfilm archives didn't have reference that was clean enough to reconstruct these screens accurately. Now, I've been working with the exceptional Star Wars font researcher and artist Ender Smith in a quest to
font researcher? Okay.
Uncover lost and unrecognized written languages in the original trilogy. Ender Smith has noted that many of the languages we see in Star Wars were likely made using a special kind of decal known as dry transfer lettering, which was popular throughout the 60s, 70s, and 80s as a cost-efficient way to get interesting fonts in an era before digitized typefaces became accessible. Dry transfers were sold as sheets of letters, which can be rubbed off or transferred onto paper or hard surfaces using friction, letter by letter. Their ease of use made them popular popular with graphic designers, amateurs, and more specifically in the case of Star Wars, prop makers, and special effects artists. We see evidence of this process in other effect shots of the original trilogy, such as fonts that are cut up and remixed to make spacey numbers and letters in things like electrobinocular displays. But unlike these examples, the TIE Fighter targeting computers are pretty fuzzy. It wasn't clear at first if these were, for instance, just blurry text with otherwise recognizable letters. So in order to get a better springboard to work from, I set to work on tracing and reconstructing these letters to the best of my ability.
God, I love nerds, don't you? This is a problem that he's cooking together a solution for a problem that doesn't necessarily exist per se. But I kind of love it. I kind of love and I'm learning a lot here. I didn't know anything about this. This is good stuff.
It soon became clear that we were working with some very angular letters. Providing these to Ender Smith gave him a specific style of letter to hunt down in dry transfer lettering catalogs. We were hopeful, but didn't really expect to find an exact match. After all, it was possible that the letters on screen came directly from the imagination of an artist. 3 hours later, I received this, a dry transfer catalog sample of an obscure font known as Chariot.
A part 2 I don't have. I can tell you that right now. But yeah, I learned a little something there. That's pretty cool.
Best movies of every year since I've been alive. We got, in my opinion...
This is hilarious to me. I stopped right there because I was like, best movie since I've been alive. And he was born in 1998. Ah! I was like a sophomore in high school. So that's when he was born. This was when I was hitting my movie stride, you know? I was really starting to discover things and making very frequent trips to Blockbuster Video. You know, it's funny. So the movies that like he's going to be like, this is the best movie when I was born was a movie that I saw in theaters in high school. All right. So Truman Show. We're starting off with not too shabby.
What is Jim Carrey's second best movie with The Truman Show? One of the many reasons I get into
he thinks Earth Girls Are Easy is Jim Carrey's best.
Drinking White Russians was due to the dude in The Big Lebowski. We got.
I hate The Big Lebowski. I've said it on the podcast previously. It don't hit people well. Best movie 1998. That is your correct answer right there. Is your little movie called Saving Private Ryan. Ever heard of it? Still like maybe the best like 20 minutes worth of, you know, opening war footage ever in a movie ever.
What is arguably Steven Spielberg's best movie with Saving Private Ryan and Adams.
See, I don't know that I go so far as to say that it's necessarily his best movie when you've got so many bangers. Come on now. Waterboy's great though.
Sandler classic with The Waterboy. What's probably one of the best soundtracks in any Disney movie ever, and we got Mulan. The first Spike Lee movie I ever saw in my life came out this year with Denzel starring in.
Wow, first Spike Lee movie was He Got Game. That's an interesting choice.
He Got Game. I think this might be one of the greatest child acting performances of all time.
Look at it, we're back again.
Lindsay Lohan in The Parent Trap. Matt Damon's my second favorite actor of all time, and this
Rounders is great, everybody. I love Rounders. I think Rounders is awesome. Ed Norton is fantastic in that. Malkovich isn't good, but Malkovich is great in his not goodness. You know who is good in that movie though? John Turturro.
year he gave us Rounders. We got the highly overrated.
Don't wanna close my eyes. Don't wanna fall asleep 'cause I miss you, baby. And I don't wanna watch that movie again. I would watch that if they brought that out on 4K Criterion. Take my money, please.
Rated Armageddon this year, even though I think it's one of the worst movies of the year. My podcast co-hosts disagree with me. We also got Disney Pixar's A Bug's Life.
I love Bug's Life.
As well as other great.
My favorite is the fat German caterpillar there. He's like, oh, hello, everybody. Nothing like a big fat character and having one of these voices in them. It's so great.
Animated movies like Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. Now, a movie I still haven't seen, but I felt I needed.
Oh, boy. You're going to have a time when you do see that one, buddy boy.
To add to the list was American History X. I do need to get to watching that here soon. But my favorite movie this year is going to be my second favorite comedy of all time, with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker starring in Rush Hour.
Guess what, baby? I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you at all. At all. Not mad at all. That's a great choice.
I've tried this series multiple times and never finished, but this time I'm determined. So here are the.
Oh, I guess that was like here for a proper loop here and everything on the TikToks. That's very good. Don't be a nihilist. How can I not? Movie theaters before they lost their whimsy. What do you guys think about this aesthetic when it comes to theater? with the little classic, with the little with the checkerboard things, that was very much like the second run theater that was on Independence Boulevard in Charlotte years ago. That was a great little theater. It looked very much, it had this kind of vibe to it for sure. I don't know that movie theaters necessarily need to get to this level per se, but they could make them more interesting and good looking and cool. I'm not a big fan of overly crap carpet like this. Movie theater carpet is like genuinely one of the worst things ever. It's always so bad. I ain't mad at the Rush Hour choice. I only wish Jackie Chan would do more stunts. I have an idea for a Jackie Chan video coming up, and not too awful long. I've been kind of mulling on it for a very long time. I just got to get the nerve to put it all together for you.
A lot of you will disagree with this, but to me, it's a big red flag if a guy tells me his favorite movie is a comedy.
Yep, I stopped it right here because I think that's an insane thing. I think that's an insane thing to say. Someone's favorite movie is a comedy. If anything, I'll go so far as to say that may be one of the best green flags I've ever seen in an individual. I think if your favorite movie has fun and whimsicalness in it, you're a better person than somebody who would say something dramatic or something that they would suspect others would hope they would say.
That shouldn't be your favorite movie. Do you have any depth? If your favorite movie is a comedy, just don't say it.
Are you speaking of elitist douchebags? That's this lady right here. This comedy's not good enough for. I tell you one thing, I'll put up fucking Blazing Saddles or Young Frankenstein up against the majority of things that this lady would probably say is her favorite movie. But she's one of these people who's just like, if it don't got subtitles in it, I don't want to see it.
Just go with Shawshank. That's a basic.
That's a basic bitch answer is what that is.
Line favorite movie. If you say that, people are like, yeah.
Yeah, you're a safe choice, little dum-dum who just says the same thing. Oh, Shawshank Redemption, you mean the #1 rated movie on IMDb that every little joker and dipstick has ever said, that's my favorite movie. It's so simple. You a simple bee if you're doing that, man. Crazy. If someone's favorite movie is a comedy, that says to me that they love to laugh. Give me someone who loves to laugh any day. MBD, 1000% correct, sir. Oh my God, as opposed to I watch War and Peace. 8 hours of War and Peace is better than, a Jim Carrey comedy any day of the week. Give me the comedy person.
Great movie. It should not be Dumb and Dumber. Also, it should not be Wolf of Wall Street. Someone's favorite movie.
First of all, that's a good movie. I mean, just because you don't like the message and stuff that's in it, and it's kind of broy and some of the douchey, things that might have come from it, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad movie. I do think that if that is your favorite movie, it's a little bit of a red flag, but at least it's a Scorsese movie, for crying out loud. It's not a Paul W.S. Anderson film.
He says so much about them.
What is your favorite film so we can judge you properly, lady? That's what I always want to know. You're yapping an awful lot, but what's your film?
Somebody has to take my wallet from me. I just spent $400 thrifting horror movies.
This is what I say about horror fans. They ain't normal. They ain't normal people. They're good people, but they ain't normal. Because no normal person goes and spends $400 thrifting on. What kind of... All right, let's see what he's got, because I don't know.
Do you want to see what I got?
Yeah.
So I am a regular at what I like to call pretty much heaven on earth.
Wow.
For thrifting. This place is incredible. It's called McKay's. There are several locations in my area. I go all the time.
Wow.
This is just their horror section. Look at all these fucking movies. I had a heyday. I found The Fog. I'm in this.
I'll tell you this, though. If your thrift store has the protective things on it, what now?
This vibe of I'm not going to buy movies unless they have a slipcase. So I found slipcase for The Fog.
Oh, I see what they're doing. They're keeping it in those boxes so the slipcases don't go missing. Using that noggin.
Burning, Valentine. And then here's a look at just in general what I got at location 1, mind you. This is location 2. We went to like I think 3 locations today. This is location 2's horror section. Maybe not as big, but still plenty of horror movies to choose from. This is my final haul out of...
You didn't have a copy of Jaws? Okay.
All the locations.
I mean, I got like 5 copies of Jaws myself. I mean, I have 2 4Ks of Jaws.
I loved this collector's edition anniversary of Jaws. Had to
because there's no anniversary of Jaws editions out there.
Have it. I own like maybe 6 copies of Jaws now.
You see, that's my point. We all have, everybody's got that.
No, sue me. This Criterion Parasite, I found it on the shelf, immediately put it in my basket. Yes,
I want to know what he paid,
sir. And then I'm not a big fan of Spiral Imaginary, but these steelbooks were incredible.
Those are all good steelbooks and stuff that they put out. I do like those.
Incredible. Until next time.
I like that Scream. Colored the Space one was good looking.
Thumbs up or thumbs down to horror movies releasing in February.
All right, so we got Pat's big overall 2026. Let's see what we got specifically for February.
I couldn't muster the energy to go watch Strangers Chapter 2. I have no plans on seeing Chapter 3. On the plus side, these movies are mercifully coming to an end. This still gets a thumbs down.
Yeah, I liked the original Strangers. I did like the remake. I didn't see either of the sequels, so I should tell you something. Actually, no, I saw the 2 there's one regular Strangers remake, and then there was like one that was in a trailer park or something like that. But the Strangers chapters 1, 2, and 3, because I think those are 3 separate movies, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen any of those.
Whistle feels like Final Destination, only with an ancient Aztec death whistle.
Ooh, okay. Ancient Aztec death whistle. Intrigue.
Who knows if this will be anything? I'm gonna go optimistic thumbs up. The newest Dracula adaptation from Luc Besson looks like a watered-down version of Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
Luc Besson's Dracula.
But also, fuck Luc Besson. This gets 2 thumbs down.
What's your beef with Luc Besson? All right.
Cold Storage looks like a classic February dump movie. It's a horror comedy about a parasitic fungus that leaks out of an abandoned military base. So basically, Return of the Living Dead, only assuredly this will be shitty. I'm going...
What?
Going thumbs down here. The Mortuary Assistant is based on a video game that I've never heard of nor played, but I'm a sucker for bottle concepts with mortuary backdrops, so I'm gonna go thumbs up here.
Mortuary!
Mimics is about a struggling ventriloquist who enters into a dangerous pact with a puppet. You know what?
Okay, all right. We need more puppet and dummy movies, people.
Fuck it. I'm giving this a thumbs up. On paper, Psycho Killer looks like the best horror movie to come out in February. It's about a female cop who's tracking down the serial killer who killed her husband. This looks gnarly as fuck. I'm going big thumbs up here. The Dreadful
Psycho Killer, we couldn't afford me in the soundtrack.
Is appropriately named because this looks like...
Boy, that is a bad poster.
A fucking big budget slog if there ever was one. Reuniting Sophie Turner and Kit Harington from Game of Thrones fame is not enough to drag me to theaters. I'm gonna go thumbs down on this one. Diabolic is an Australian supernatural horror movie about a woman seeking a cure for her blackouts. I can't even muster the energy for a thumbs up here. Let's go realistic thumbs down. Melissa Barrera controversy aside, I haven't given a shit about a Scream movie since the first one.
Oof, that's a little harsh. 1, 2, and 3 are good. 4 had the potential to be good, but screwed it up in the end. 5 was fine. 6 was a little less. 7 will probably be even lesser.
I don't understand what a majority of you see in this franchise. I'd go as far as to say it's the worst franchise in all of horror.
That is a lick. Come on, Pat. Now, come on, Pat. You telling me that the Scream movies are worse than the Leprechaun movies? Get the fuck out of here. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You telling me the Scream movies are better than the Doll Man movies? Get out of here, bro. You telling me about pick a Full Moon franchise? Are you telling me that? No. Come on, let's be realistic here.
I couldn't give a bigger fucking thumbs down.
Boy, passionate.
Did you all hear what's going on with movie theaters? Attendance is down nearly 10% in early 2025.
Well, I mean, it is January.
And get this, box office revenue for quarter one plunged to its lowest level since 1996. I mean, heck, when was the last time you went to the movies? What movie did you see and how much did you pay? I mean, even the discount chains like Cinema World have filed for bankruptcy just to stay afloat. Regal, Alamo Drafthouse, and others have closed dozens of locations across the United States.
I will say this: I think there's far too many movie theaters. That is part of the problem when there's 4,000 screens.
Meanwhile, streaming services are getting better. Exclusive theatrical windows are shrinking from 90 days to as little as 17 days. I mean, that's barely over 2 weeks now. And Hollywood isn't supplying the mid-budget movies that draw real crowds. Theaters are trying everything to stay afloat.
And they suck at it. That's the problem, is that they don't know what they're doing.
Pickleball courts in the lobby, cocktail bars.
Pickleball courts in the lobby. Show me where that's happening.
Even pot shops. Yeah, just to get people back. But here's the question.
Pot shops. Hey, come on, get blazed and watch the flick. Trust me, we didn't have pot shops and we still had people doing that in our theater.
Is the movie theater experience dead for all of you? And even myself? Is it in need of a reboot? Is it worth paying $20 for a ticket and overpriced popcorn and candy when you've got Netflix, HBO, and an OLED at home? I want to hear from the movie fans and
first of all, most people don't go to OLED. I'll tell you that right.
The skeptics alike. Would you still go to the theater, or has the couch won you over? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, right. All right. No ventriloquism movie or show will ever top the Jay Johnson soap special. Jay Johnson, the two and only for me. All right.
Appreciate you.
All right. You guys know how I feel. Movie tickets should all be $5 Monday through Thursday. Every single show that's out there, popcorn, movie, and a drink should cost you $10 in total Monday through Thursday. That's the way to do it.
This is the weirdest bit of movie trivia I've ever heard. Okay, so you know the movie No Country for Old Men? Even if you haven't seen it, you probably know it as the film where
this guy with the this haircut.
This guy in a weird haircut goes around and kills a bunch of people. Okay, well, the movie and the book that it's based on take place in 1980 in a tiny little town along the border in Texas. And the story is that you have this sleepy little town that is suddenly shocked by the outbreak of cartel violence. And this guy is a hitman who works for one of these drug lords. So in the book No Country for Old Men, this sheriff character, the guy who's played by Tommy Lee Jones in the film, when explaining how...
And if there's anybody who can play an old sheriff, is there anybody that's better than that Tommy Lee Jones? I don't know.
Bad things had gotten around there says, well, recently in San Antonio, a federal judge was killed. Well, he's referencing a real thing that happened. There was a judge named John H. Wood who was assassinated by a cartel hitman back in 1979. This triggered one of the largest investigations in history, and they eventually snagged the killer, a guy named Charles V. Harrelson. This drug kingpin had paid him $250,000 to take out the judge. But that guy, Charles Harrelson, is the father of actor Woody Harrelson, who is in the movie No Country for Old Men.
I thought that might be what happened here.
Playing a character who, spoiler, gets taken out by a cartel hitman. The assassination of that judge is not mentioned in the film, and as far as I know, this is all just coincidence.
That's a little freaky. Didn't know that.
I am familiar with Letterboxd. So many of
I know who this gentleman is. It's Elijah Wood, everybody. He's going on some Letterboxd. Let's see what he gets.
my friends have Letterboxd accounts, so I need to do my due diligence and actually start an account.
Oh, well, Elijah, first and foremost, it is surprising that you don't have one. He is a movie fiend and everything, and I think he would have a giant following on Letterboxd. And if you'd like to follow me on Letterboxd, I think the link is in the show notes. Hit the show notes and follow me on Letterboxd. I'd be reviewing stuff over there. I've reviewed over 2,000. Well, maybe I put stars on them. I put stars on over 2,000 films over there. So that's, go check out my taste.
I'm going to go with the 4 favorite theatrical experiences. Right at the top of that list, E.T. Seen E.T. so many times, but I saw it for the first time in a theater at Sitges about, this maybe going back 11 years ago. They screened a 2K remastered edition of it, and it was in their large cinema at the Sitges Film Festival in Spain. And it's maybe the most emotional experience I've ever had watching a movie.
It's so good. Yeah, if you get a chance to see ET on the big screen, definitely do it. There's so many movies that get changed. The experience enhances when you see them on the big screen, and certainly Spielberg movies have that effect.
In a theater, I mean, that movie devastates me anyway, but man, like, it absolutely destroyed me. Still one of my all-time theatrical experiences. Eyes Wide Shut really stands out as an incredible theatrical.
The walkie-talkies are gone now, right? Yes. I want to do a video on that too. I want to do a video on ET and how back in the day the only way to get the original uncut version was to buy a $100 box set, which I did. Because I went to the theater to see that 20th anniversary special edition of ET with the walkie-talkies gone, with the bathtub scene added, with the CGI eyeballs and other accoutrement on top of ET. And surprisingly, not surprisingly, the CGI ET made ET look less real, which is hilarious. While trying to make it seem more real and more lifelike, you accomplished the exact opposite. Congratulations.
Experience. I remember going with my sister at the Cineplex, the AMC Cineplex in Burbank.
First of all, that's a weird flick to see with your sister. I think we all can agree on that. And since Elijah Wood and I are about the same age, also, you're a bit young to be seeing that in the theater, just by a little bit.
I'll never forget walking out of that movie and being sort of just taken to that world. I really love that film. It's still...
I hate that movie.
One of my favorite Kubrick films. I know that's kind of divisive, but I love it. Is there going to be a Criterion 4K? Oh, I didn't realize.
There should be. I would suspect most of his other films are there.
Oh, amazing. Cool. Yeah. Shit, yeah. Mulholland Drive as another...
I hate Mulholland Drive.
Theatrical experience that I'll never forget. It's one of
it was a home video experience I'll never forget because I kept rewinding it going, what the fuck are they even trying to say here? This movie's stupid.
my favorite Lynch films, and I think maybe the only new release of his that I saw in the cinema. That
Naomi Watts is fun as all good out there, boy.
movie, it takes you on a trip. And I remember driving home with my sister, and we were driving in silence, and both of us, I think, just trying to process what we had seen. And I just remember, like, halfway through the drive home, I was like, do you understand what we just saw? And she's like, nope. Like, can't.
No one does, because it was pieced together. It was not a real thing, so to speak. It was just Lynch kind of cobbling together a lot of his kind of misfit toys and putting them into a full narrative. Not for me.
Make sense of it. Did you love it? She's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, me too. And I've seen that movie subsequently so many times, and it actually makes a lot of sense to me and not as difficult to unpack as that first experience. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade at the Chinese theater. It has to be included. My family and I had just moved to Los Angeles from Iowa, and that movie was released, I think it was 89, and it was in cinemas at the Chinese theater. So my mom and I went to go see that movie right when it came out. It's still one of my favorite Indiana Jones films. You're never going to pay attention to a movie more than you will in a movie theater. My dream, my wish.
He says that, but at Grauman's Chinese Theater, when I saw 28 Weeks Later, I wasn't paying attention to the film at all. I was looking around going like, look at this architecture. Look at all of this. Look at these seats, man. Who was in this seat, 50 years ago?
Is that continues to be a sacred space, and that film distribution in a physical format remains a thing because it's so special.
That is correct, sir. Oh, I have Mulholland Drive, but I haven't seen it yet. I'll be interested to see what your thoughts are on it. And I would go back and watch it again just to, kind of clarify my own thoughts and stuff on it. But
why so much of Hollywood's output today is trash?
And the fact that we were able to very accurately every single time predict exactly what the toxic reaction was going to be. Like, it's both sad, but also goes to show how
whoa, oh boy. When she's throwing the word like in there 58 times, it's a well thought out thought.
Tired and unoriginal these guys are,
Now, first of all, let's be real. Her idea of toxic is probably very different from a normal person's idea of toxic. But regardless, that is a showrunner literally saying, we knew people weren't going to like this trash.
And we did it anyway.
As we were making the trash. But we continued making the trash and released the trash anyways.
When we like the trash is good. And if you don't like it, it means that you get to pay attention to us, and no one's ever paid attention to us throughout our entire lives. So when we shake the tree and, you know, like we're getting a little bit of attention, that's it ups those dopamine levels, you know?
Look, at the end of the day, if you're going to make something successful in Hollywood, you have to understand that people that you don't like and people who you disagree with are going to like your stuff. In fact, you need them to like your stuff.
Exactly. That is the biggest problem. And Hollywood at all is trying to advertise things and get a market for a market that doesn't exist. They're advertising. They're like, we need to get all the people. No, get the people that are going to be a fan of the thing that you're trying to sell them. Don't try to sell the, you know, don't try to sell a like a porterhouse to a vegan. Doesn't make much sense.
You want your Hollywood release to be successful. That's just the way it is. And that used to always be understood. People used to make movies and shows with the understanding that we need as many people to like this as possible in order for it to succeed. Only in the last decade or so have we seen this rise of people in Hollywood making things that they know is going to piss off large amounts of the population.
They think they're punk rock.
And then, what do you know, when those shows and movies flop,
But what those people don't realize is that there ain't a lot of money in punk rock.
the creators come out and complain and blame the audience for not liking it. You see this all
It's
the
your
time.
fault.
You'll see articles about an upcoming release saying, this is not for the straight white male. And then after it flops, you see articles like, why
did the straight white male show up for this?
won't the straight white male come see this movie? It's just complete bizarro world nowadays.
He ain't wrong.
I'm Gursky Man, and it is an honor to be here in the Criterion Closet, or as I call it, the Crozet.
Terrible.
Beep. Count up. Let's take a look around. Shit, I ain't no Slumber Party Massacre made it to the Criterion.
Ah, boy, I'd buy that. Slumber Party Massacre's fun.
Upper crust of early 80s slasher, one of my greatest.
I don't know. It goes as far as called upper crust. That may be a little bit of a stretch.
Inspiration. You got Nutty Professor, but not the clumps. That's disrespectful to me.
It is.
I'd be remiss if I didn't note Last of the Mohicans.
You know why I hate the clumps? It's not because of the movie, and Lord knows there's plenty enough to my movie. But I remember that was on television on like prom night, on a prom night. That was like a year after I was, I was like 19. The girl I went to prom with was 18. So, but it was not good. That movie just.
I got my first hand job while watching that. Walter Matthau's finest role, Dennis the Menace.
Yeah.
You guys have Dennis the Menace.
Directed by the Shape himself.
Strikes Again here.
Oh, no.
I always wondered how'd they let that motherfucker strike again.
How they let that motherfucker strike again.
Spit on Your Grave, brutal film. I got my second hand job to that one. What? You got Chud in this bitch. Now all I need is City Slickers, Diner, Home Alone 1 and 2, and Bushwhacked, and that completes the ultimate Daniel Stern collection.
Yeah, boy.
Oh.
Did he say Rookie of the Year? Because that needs to be there.
John Carpenter.
Directed, no less, by Daniel Stern.
There's The Thing, a little known sleeper.
Yes. Walter Matthau was a great Mr. Wilson. He was perfect. He was such a perfect choice. Just brilliant. You were just like, and Walter Matthau is brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
Of a sci-fi horror hit. Not a lot of people know that one. A lot of John.
My brother and I would go back and forth. Like one of our stupid things that we would go back and forth with was what that cross-eyed kid was talking to Christopher Lloyd's character in that thing where he goes, "What you got there, kid?" And the kid looks up at him with cross eyes and goes, Apple. So me and Mark would just be like, Apple, like all the time, just because it was just like, what? It was so, what a weird little line reading for that kid.
Cassavetes here. As an intellectual cinema connoisseur, I really enjoy saying I like John Cassavetes movies.
I really enjoy saying I like John Cassavetes movies.
You're severely lacking in Italian cannibal films. Gremlins.
Yeah.
Got my
Honestly, Gremlins could use a Criterion collection. Gremlins does like even the 4K of Gremlins and stuff that's out. Not great, not fantastic. I really think they need to try to go back to some real original elements there and talk with was Dean Cundy he's gone. So you can't talk to him about or is hold on, I gotta figure out if Dean Cundy's still alive. No, it looks like nope. Dean Cundy's still alive. Thank God. Yeah. So get Dean Cundy to fucking because I'm pretty sure. Let me look. Hold on. All right, we'll figure it out later.
first rim job to that. Oh, I actually need a new copy of Wall-E. I used my old disc to crush pills.
Well, Wall-E is available in the Criterion Collection, so joke's on you, friendo.
Was Daniel Stern in City Slickers?
In the original, yeah.
How many VFX are actually in your favorite movies? Because I'm looking at this VFX breakdown from befores and afters on YouTube right now. A friend of mine sent this to me for After the Hunt. And this is just blowing my mind right here. This is a film that's based in reality, a film that's based in a college setting. And yet, you know, there's clear focus on wanting to use certain buildings for these scenes. But then all of a sudden you just see everything just kind of meld away, everything disappear, everything in the background aside from this one central building. And that kind of blows my mind.
And here's when you know you have a good filmmaker and someone who knows what they're doing in the business is that they do this and you don't notice. One of the most infamous scenes for me that is like this is there's a scene where in Zodiac where Mark Ruffalo and the other police gang are outside this place and everything. And the majority of everything that you see in that scene is CGI. You wouldn't even know it. Like there's so many weird different things going on and you're just like, I would never know until Fincher sits down and goes like, hey, all this is fake.
How much they're able to do. I remember this a couple of years ago when Parasite was up for production design. I can't remember if it won, but knowing the fact that most of that house, the second floor, was not real either kind of broke my brain too. And, you know, when we think...
Wait, did you know that the rooftop scene in The Room was not a real location?
Think about heavy special effects. We think about...
Which is funny because they were on a roof but still used green screen.
About these Marvel movies, we think about Transformers, we think about these big action blockbusters, but no, it's taking place kind of everywhere here. This is kind of mind-blowing to me. You have all these extras, you have all these like walls that are built around that are clearly physically here, and then everything else is fake, it's manufactured, and this is just one example of the magic of movie making. Like here, they use it to extend the building. Here, they're adding the wintry scenes here, which are so central to the film, especially that finale, and I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to show off this whole video. Do check it out yourself, but again, when you're watching your favorite movies, if they have behind the scenes, if you have a Blu-ray, DVD, check out to see how much special effects are actually going on, because this is just mind-boggling. Seriously.
Yeah, definitely, and definitely do it with Fincher films, because number one, he's going to show you and tell you how he's doing all the stuff, which is very, very cool.
Seriously, amazing work.
I think I need to start using Criterion Closet as background. That should be smart.
Cartoon Network, which was a channel that only showed cartoons. The reason why companies did this is because in the 1980s, television was becoming a much more important part of the average American's life, and they realized that there was a lot more opportunity for profit with advertising if they just upped the amount of content that they were able to show us. And so they started spinning off all these channels with all these different themes. But the issue is that they just didn't have the content to fill the 24-hour slots. So the way these companies were able to fill out their 24 hours of programming was just by buying old libraries of movies and TV shows and then just playing them all day. This is the very reason why me, somebody who grew up in the 90s, has a vast knowledge of references from the 1930s and 40s.
Isn't that great? Isn't it great that we have those things because we were fucking educated? They decided, hey, and again, they made things that were so good in the 40s and 50s that they could still play them 40 years later. That's how good Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies, all of that blue ribbon shit was. It's so good that 40, 50 years later, it is still beautiful.
Because I grew up watching Looney Tunes on Cartoon Network. Because Turner Broadcasting, the creator of Cartoon Network, bought the WB Looney Tunes library and used that content to fill their time slots.
And if you're going to fill some time slots, why not fill it with some of the best animation and voiceovers in human fucking history?
The reason why millennials have this vast knowledge of old pop culture is because when we were kids, television had become a very major part of our lives.
Television too, but we also had movie stores and stuff, video rentals that we could go to. We had parents that introduced us to things. Parents don't fucking introduce shit to their kids anymore, not like they used to.
And we were just sitting there passively being shown all of this content because they were just trying to fill these time slots.
And then some of us got intrigued by things and then started actively going out and searching out these things. And so I think that's also the difference.
Meanwhile, Gen Z and Gen Alpha have grown up in a time where they are embarrassed with new content.
Yeah, they have so much stuff. They have everything, and everything is available at their fingertips of all time, and they don't fucking care. Isn't that how it works?
Every single day, hundreds of movies and TV show episodes and videos on the internet and songs are released. You could spend the rest of your natural life just trying to catch up with the stuff that came.
That's why I always say we could stop right now, and we'd have no more movies, no more TV shows, and you know what? We'd be just fine. Just fine. So if Hollywood dies and goes into the sea, we're going to be all right. We still are going to have enough entertainment to last us at least the rest of our lifetimes, if not the lifetimes of several of those over.
Last year. And if something's already been out for a week, it's old news. So they're just trying to keep up with yesterday, let alone are they going to.
Oh, no, I believe this is, I bet the number's higher. Only somewhat recently did I realize that maybe 75% of the Looney Tunes cartoons only had Mel Blanc doing the voice. I would say it's higher than that. I'd say, I don't know the statistical numbers, but I'd say it's higher than that. He mostly did all the voices, men, women, children, all of it. It was just like, we just let Mel go. That's when you just see voice characterization, I think is what they normally call it, Mel Blanc. Pretty much just Mel Blanc on all those things.
Watch some B movie from the 1970s. So a lot of millennials and Gen Xers make fun of them for this, but I think it's understandable. But what do you think?
I think they're lazy twats that need to get their shit together. I think their parents are terrible, probably. Sorry. I know that's going to be half of our audience here, but I think a lot of them are shitty Gen X parents. Shitty Gen X parents whose parents themselves forced things on their kids or whatever, and they were kind of bummers, and because they didn't like their kids and or whatever, so they didn't like how their parents raised them, so they were like, I'm not going to raise my kid like that. And I think we got a lot of dumb kids on account of it.
Best action movie ever created?
What do we even mean by that? You know what I'm saying? There's so many different avenues that you can go down for best action movie ever made. Now, are we talking about the quality of the movie? Are we talking about the action of the movie? Oh, all right. MVD's got a Hard Boiled. Just bought that on 4K. I would say that definitely could hold a contention in there. Hard Boiled is amazing. But you could look at Hard Boiled and be like, the story's not fantastic. The action's amazing. But the story, it's okay. So it's like, it depends on what factors we're all putting together here when we talk about best action movie. Let's see what this gentleman's got to say.
Oh, the original Italian Job. Best.
Come on, dude. The remake of the Italian Job was way better. You're fucking wrong. As far as like action and car chases and stuff goes, it's way better than the original. You're off your rocker, man.
Best action movie ever created. The Raid.
Now, see, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. The Raid is a fantastic answer. Whoo! If you ain't having fun at the Raid, something wrong with you. You're broken.
The best action movie ever created. Enter the Dragon.
No. But Enter the Dragon isn't even Bruce Lee's best film. All right. Anybody that tells me that, like, when they go like, oh man, I'm a big martial arts movie fan, I go, oh yeah, what do you like? And the first thing they go to is Enter the Dragon. I'm like, you sweet, sweet summer child. Enter the Dragon. That's cute. That's cute. What are you, 10?
I think one more was Across 103rd Street. And
Again, those aren't action films. They're good movies, but they're not action films. I like these movies, not action. Superfly is not an action movie. Across 110th Street is not an action film. What are you on, sir? Learn what an action movie is.
Superfly. What's the best action movie ever created?
The Bourne Identity.
Well, I mean, like, listen, I don't dislike The Bourne Identity, but you need to see more movies, sweetheart.
Batman Begins.
Oh, my Lord. I didn't think we were getting into this. Oh, my word. Action movie. It's a good movie. It's not an action movie.
Best action movie ever created?
Hardcore Henry.
No, Hardcore Henry sucks. Hardcore Henry came across as a fantastic idea, but the execution fell far flat from his expectations.
Let's go. It's underrated.
No, it's overrated. Kung Fu Hustle? Listen. Okay.
Greatest.
I see you with the Kung Fu Hustle, and you know what? I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I feel like that deserves it more so than Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon is very good, still too Americanized.
Best action movie ever created?
Probably Spider-Man.
Oh! Come on! Spider-Man? If you want to say it's the greatest comic book film, I'll even give you that one. But the best action film, Spider-Man? What are we talking about? My sons have seen Casablanca on the big screen, The Seventh Seal, as well as every episode of Space Ghost Coast to Coast and Car 54. Some Gen Z are making rounded geeks. Thank you. See, I was not talking about parents like Alex. See what I'm saying? That's the difference. That's the difference. Kung Fu Hustle is the best action movie and live action Looney Tunes movie as well. Agreed. It belongs on this list more than the majority of the other films that have been in these people.
Tobey Maguire version.
Back to the Future. 1, 2.
I fucking love Back to the Future. You guys know my heart for Back to the Future. It is not an action film, you fucking idiot.
And 3.
What is the best action movie ever created?
Charlie's Angels.
Oh my God. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we now? Listen, the only way that I will give you half a point is that the action scenes in Charlie's Angels were done by Yin Wu Ping. I'll give you credit where credit is due. But come on.
Charlie's Angels.
What's the best action movie ever created?
The President.
Best
I don't even know what that is.
action movie ever created? Die Hard. What's the
All right, listen, I'll give you a Die Hard. You can at least put that into a contention.
best action movie ever created?
Running Man, the original.
No.
Skyfall.
No.
Best action movie ever created?
Avengers Endgame.
No.
What's the best action movie ever created?
James Bond, bro.
James Bond, that's a character, you dumbass.
James Bond?
Yeah.
Django, you fucking idiot. No. These aren't action films, you dumbasses.
Greatest action movie ever created?
Anything with Spider-Man in it.
That's best action movie ever created?
Edge of Tomorrow.
All right, that's at least a good movie. That's a little more action-oriented. I'll give it to you. It's better than some of these other choices.
What is the best action movie ever created?
Conan the Barbarian.
No! Wrong!
Dun, 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 dun.
Good God, I want to jump off of a building. These are the worst answers I've ever seen. Do you people not watch more movies? I swear to God. All right, I'm going to go take a break. I'm heated. I'm hot right now. I'm going to walk the dog real quick. We're going to get a fresh breath of air here, and we're going to come back, and we're going to we're going to continue the last little less than half. We're over half the way here. But we're stand by. I'm too heated. I'm too heated for this. I'm going to go take a quick little break here, and we'll be right back. I'm gonna get a refresher on the drink. You can do so as well for yourself because you're worth it. Damn it! All right, we'll be right back here. Let's throw this up. All right, I'll be right back. All right. Okay. Thanks for hanging in there, gang. My job is my only income, so I only get that W-2. So I must have missed some. They're talking amongst themselves here in chat. All right, let's go. Let's go back to the thing.
Your entire childhood is a lie.
I don't know about that. The entire thing?
People are figuring out that the Duffers use a 2002 anime called Elfen Lied to influence the events of Stranger Things. It's about a girl named Lucy who has telekinetic.
Oh, I know. I think I watched this whole thing. Actually, this is one of the few ones that I actually watched here. I think MVD is going to be having himself a little bit of a heart attack here in just a second. But here we go.
Powers who escaped from a government facility. Who's on the run from her evil scientist father figure who joins up with a group of boys so they can save the world. Oh, and Vecna's grandfather clock that the Duffers admitted had no significance was also a story component that was pulled from this anime. But this isn't the only time that fans notice Elfen Lied's influence in film. After all, there's a movie called Lucy about a woman with telekinetic abilities who's on the run from her captors. And this is something that filmmakers in Hollywood have been accused of doing for quite some time. Like how the anime Paprika is about
I didn't know this. I'd heard of Paprika, but boy, oh boy, when you look at this, you're like...
about a man who uses technology to enter people's dreams. Christopher Nolan has never acknowledged how Paprika and Inception share similar plot details and how their visuals literally mirror one another. But when you watch these movies,
doesn't that seem a little suspicious? Yeesh.
Side by side, it's pretty undeniable that the similarities cannot be pure coincidence. Or like how the movies Black Swan and Perfect Blue are both about female entertainers who lose their grip on reality because of career pressure. Both containing parallel visuals of the reflections looking at one another. And the fact that Black Swan's director literally bought the rights for Perfect Blue so he could use a scene from it for another movie he did called Requiem for a Dream.
Well, son of a bitch about that.
The one that feels like the most blatant ripoff is how The Lion King feels exactly like another anime called Kimba. Both
I've heard the Kimba bit a whole bunch.
They're films about a young lion who must lead their kingdoms after the death of their father.
But they ain't got no Elton John in it, so you can keep on trucking, baby.
Whose spirits appear to their sons in the form of a cloud. Also, their names being Kimba and Simba if it already wasn't obvious enough.
Motherfuckers ain't even try to change that shit.
It's also well documented that Disney was a huge fan of the creator of Kimba's work.
And he was also a guy who didn't mind ripping some people off.
To give the Duffers some credit, they did admit to Elfen Lied's influence on Stranger Things, but everything else I said is purely speculative. But what do you think? Do you think this is the classic case of great minds thinking alike, or do you think something else was definitely going on? As always, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts.
Oh, for sure. Come on. When you see things like that, when you get the little side-by-sides, get the fuck out of here, bro. I keep telling you, Adam, Perfect Blue is a movie that you should see. I think we're starting to get down there. Perfect Blue and paprika. One of my favorite spices, if I'm honest with you. It's not true. Garlic powder, probably my favorite.
Ranking movies your boyfriend forced you to watch based on...
Ooh, based on how much you'll suffer watching them. I stopped it right there because I'm like, this is an intriguing idea.
How much you'll suffer watching them. The Dark Knight, B tier.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh boy. This movie is pretty good, actually. All your suffering will be coming from your man acting like he's Bruce Wayne for the following 2 weeks. If he acts like he's the Joker, run, girl. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, S tier. How about
Scott Pilgrim versus a single redeeming quality?
Expect comments like, babe, you're my Ramona Flowers. Also be ready to relive the movie because he's
Okay, so I see what the angle he's going from here. It's different than I expected.
Probably created some evil exes himself if he's showing this to you. Pulp Fiction, A tier. Babe, look, this part is important. Babe, do you understand the symbolism here? Babe, can you pass my chicken nuggies?
Dude, relax.
A film bro will see this movie once and think they're Socrates.
Please break down the GIMP scene for me.
You don't want me to do that, but I can. I could. And like I don't know. He's a young guy. He's young. Come on now.
Good luck surviving this viewing. Star Wars, A tier.
Say goodbye to the next 14 hours of your life.
It's true.
Babe,
No, you can't just watch them randomly. This isn't chronological. This is release order. Chronological ruins everything. I swear. This one's slower, but it's setting things up. Just get through the first 40 minutes, please, babe. Please.
Fight Club, B tier. First rule of Fight Club.
First of all, like I don't know, like What girl ain't seen most of these movies? Let's be honest. Like these are like, these are just regular ass movies. I don't know that these are.
Is that you will never stop talking about Fight Club. Your boyfriend will also be convinced he is Tyler Durden. Yes, bro.
You are clinically insane.
I think the people you hang out with are fucking losers. It sounds like, my guy.
What movies did your boyfriend make you watch?
The last movie that I made a lady that I was going out with watch was Double Indemnity. Mostly because it came out in Criterion Collection and it was like, cheap and stuff like that. So I bought it and I was like, hey, I watched this movie. You want to watch it with me? She did break up with me shortly thereafter.
Does it actually matter that Marvel's new TV show Wonder Man is the best thing they've released in years?
Nope. No, it doesn't. And I stopped this video right here because that's where I stopped it when I was watching it. Because old Stubbs here comes. Stubbs? I forget. She makes an excellent point here. But that is a big question. And as somebody who covered superhero movies and television shows for a decade, I think it puts me in a pretty prime position here to kind of talk about this sort of stuff. I'm not interested. And if there's anybody that should be, it should be me. Should be the guy who's covered superhero movies and TV shows for a decade. But I couldn't give a shit. I don't know why. I wish I cared. But even though I've got the access to Disney Plus there and everything, I don't really care. And I think that the problem is that Disney, between Star Wars and Marvel, have kind of been screwing the pooch. They've been screwing the pooch lately. And, I'm sorry, but if you're going to give me crap like The Acolyte, don't be surprised when I don't show up for your other shit. You know what I'm saying? You haven't exactly ingratiated yourselves to us lately.
Marvel Studios themselves certainly don't seem to think so, based on their incredibly minimal
Didn't they dump it all at the same time too? That's also a bad sign.
release strategy for this project, despite it having the best critical reception in over a dozen of their recent projects.
What do they say it is? You can build a million bridges, but if you fuck one dog, you're a dog fucker, not a bridge builder.
All 8 episodes of Wonder Man were quietly dropped on Disney Plus on Tuesday, and despite the distinct lack of fanfare, it's really worth your time.
My dad called me up and he said, have you been watching Wonder Man? I said, no, I hadn't seen it yet. And he goes, he watched like 3 or 4 episodes. He wasn't a big fan of it. He was just like, this is kind of weird. I couldn't tell you what his thoughts are on it outside of like, it was kind of weird. And he was just like, if you watch it, let me know what you think about it. And I still haven't gotten around to it, even though he gave me an opinion. He goes, hey, let me know what you think. I still have been like, I'll just watch the burnt peanut.
Despite being pretty personally tired of the MCU shenanigans for some time now, I have been keeping this series on my radar, and not just because I'm familiar with and kind of enjoy Wonder Man as a character. He happens to be an old flame of one Miss Wanda Maximoff, by the way, but because this series is created and showrun by Destin Daniel Cretton, who is also the director of Shang-Chi, which is one of the best
I was going to say, why does that name sound familiar? Shang-Chi, that's it.
Marvel movies in recent memory.
Shang-Chi was all right. Shang-Chi was fine. Nothing, nothing to super write home about, but nothing to overly damn it.
I'm also notably a huge fan of Yahya Abdul-Mateen, and I think his casting was fantastic. Obviously, I've talked about how much I love The Watchmen show, but also...
Hey, listen, I liked Watchmen, but like, there's just something about his, like the bald head of his Dr. Manhattan that didn't make much sense to me. I didn't even much mind him kind of, taking on the Dr. Manhattan mantle, as it were, even though I would have preferred that wasn't the case. It was more like the makeup and the hair and stuff that kind of bugged me out on that.
Because as a longtime Iron Man 3 defender, Trevor...
That's what my dad told me most about. That kind of made me intrigued for it was the Trevor character is back, and I kind of love Ben Kingsley as the Trevor character. There's just something about that. Like, I know a lot of people were pissed off that it wasn't like the actual Mandarin and it was his character. There was something about the fact that it was Trevor and how Ben Kingsley's playing Trevor is always so much fun. I love what he's doing with this character, this pretentious acting guy. I think it's great. And honestly, now that she's mentioned that again, it does make me want to kind of want to watch it.
Trevor Slattery is one of the most underrated and underutilized characters in the entire MCU, and this series corrects that. with a lot of style, by the way. Story-wise, Wonder Man falls somewhere between La La Land and The Nice Guys, which is one hell of an elevator pitch if you ask me. And that's before I tell you that in this series, Ben Kingsley actually says the words, "I feel like Stevie Nicks having coke blown up her bunghole." It's interesting because much like Thunderbolts, I feel like this project specifically harkens to something that people on TikTok specifically had been saying they wanted from the MCU for a very long time, which was stories that felt more grounded about real people existing in this universe where
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, because it works well in things like Daredevil.
superheroes just exist, which is actually something that is taken from comic books. Street level heroes, one of my favorite heroes, Daredevil, was all about this. It's a more human, grounded story that is less fantastical and more about the personal interactions of living in a world like this.
Which, again, spoiler alert, is what comic books are about. That's comic books. Come on, that's why we read them.
Simon Williams is one of the most interesting characters that the MCU has introduced in a long time, and it's because of the fact that he's incredibly normal. It's because of the fact that he's an aspiring actor in a world where being a superhero has become a faux pas and actually a liability. The MCU up until this point really hasn't gotten to delve very deep into how isolating being a superpowered or enhanced or whatever they call it individual in this world is. And that's one of the criticisms that I've talked about when I talked about centering this universe around a team like the Avengers as opposed to like the X-Men. And the dynamic between Simon and Ben Kingsley's Trevor Slattery is truly an odd couple buddy comedy for the ages. This dynamic is hilarious and endearing. Okay. But even more than that, what this series is saying about Hollywood, it feels like it's skewering the entertainment industrial complex more acutely even than the studio or The Boys does at times.
Okay.
And also commenting on superhero culture. And almost in a very self-reflective meta way speaks to the way the MCU itself has fallen out of vogue. And there's real artistic intention behind this series, which I feel is something that has been missing from the MCU for quite some time now, even in recent projects that I've enjoyed a lot. Like, the cinematography in this series is gorgeous and feels heavily inspired by like 1970s buddy cop comedies. It feels like it puts you in a time and place. It creates an entire motif around what it's trying to do and what it's trying to say. And that is awesome. This is overall not just a great Marvel project, it's a great TV show in general. But this is where I struggle with the Disney Plus brand. And I've spoken about this a little bit before when it comes to projects like Andor, which I feel deserve far more attention from awards bodies and mainstream audiences. But general consumers seem to have lost so much trust in the Disney Plus brand because of the amount of subpar content that they put out for so long that I feel like people don't even want to give it a chance.
Yep. Because if you, it's the old saying, man, you know, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, fool me once, shame on you, fame twice, you know.
And honestly, who could blame them? But this is one of the biggest reasons why the overall quality decline of the MCU has been generally worrying to me, because of the cultural impact that it has. Because when something as big and as popular as the MCU loses the interest of the general public and becomes essentially a legacy act whose most rabid fans only want it to replay its greatest hits over and over again, it stops creating culture and starts stalling culture. It's great that they're still creating great, innovative projects like Wonder Man. It's just a real shame that they don't seem to have any faith in it. And similarly, that audiences don't seem to. Meanwhile,
I agree with all these statements, but I just have to say this right now because she's putting out a fantastic video here. But put your mic on your shirt. Everybody's got to stop holding these little lav mics. Lav mics are meant to be put on you. You don't have to do this. This is fucking dumb. We have to stop this. We have to stop.
They'll trot out every fan favorite character from 50.
Boo! Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom is one of the most uninspired bullshits I've ever seen. They're probably, you know, listen, I'm open to the opportunity for them to make it something that's going to be worth a damn, but I am not I'm not holding my breath.
15 years ago, who's already died, put him in front of a green screen and call it a day because they know it'll make them probably $1 billion. Anyway, Wonder Man is great. And by the way, works really well as a completely standalone series. You don't have to be caught up with anything else going on in the MCU. Not even Trevor Slattery. They let you know everything you need to know in the series. So if your superhero fatigue has started to wane a little bit and you kind of want to watch something actually interesting that isn't Avengers 17, I would check out Wonder Man. I really, really enjoyed it.
That's a good sell on that. That's a good job. You may want to catch at least one episode of Wonder Man. Adam Josh Gad is in an episode and something very bad happens to him. You have sold me, dear sir. You have sold me. I thought they made really a really good buddy team. And of course, Andor's fantastic. I've also been wondering why people are holding their little mics up like that. Honestly, I think most of it comes from. I hate to be the guy who credits this guy with it, but I think it was Straw Hat Goofy was the first doucher to start that one. But he did it with like the iPhone speaker on the fucking headphones there and everything, holding that up and doing all of this shit. It's just like, you guys are so stupid with that. Grow up.
Who the fuck was gonna tell me that Speed was about a bomb that was gonna go off if a bus went under 50 miles an hour?
I don't know. The fucking trailer? Do you guys remember the trailer in the ad campaign for Speed back in the day? Do you remember that? That was the whole point of the ad campaign, was telling you exactly what was going on in the movie. Pop quiz, hot shot. You got a bus with a bomb on it. They were telling you the plot the whole time. That's like, it literally is the whole thing. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Do you know how many fucking film bros I've heard talk about this movie? Like, oh, it's the best movie.
First of all, I enjoy Speed. What quote unquote film bros are telling you that Speed is one of the best movies of all time? How old are these people?
No one ever said what it was fucking about. Yeah, that sounds cool. Like, I get it. A little bit, maybe. I mean, it's a cool premise.
No. It's a great premise. It's a great premise.
I only clicked on it because I was like, wait, it has Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock? But then I was like, okay, what? Let's see if it's worth it. That's what it's about?
Did you watch it?
Whenever somebody says editing should feel invisible, what do they mean?
The thing that they mean by that is that you should not be noticing editing. If you're watching something and it's done good and it's like the editing isn't kind of the point of it, you're having, like, let's say it's a conversation between two people, right? There's conversation between two people. Let's say we have 3 cameras. How you edit that scene is how you want, everything, to be laid out to the viewer. And you want them to feel like they are in the middle of this conversation, as if they are a person that is there. And the way that you do that is through editing, is that you say, hey, here's where I want your eyes to go. Here's what I want you to look at. And the way that you do it is invisible, and hopefully it's invisible. And the person that I think that put this together better than anybody is Academy Award winner Walter Murch. Walter Murch is Francis Ford Coppola's longtime editor and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. But Walter has, he wrote a book many years ago called In the Blink of an Eye. And what that book was about was all about editing and stuff, and his experiences on movies like The Conversation and Apocalypse Now and all that kind of good stuff. What his thoughts was that as you're editing, each cut should be like the blink of an eye. We blink our eyes all the time. We don't realize that is something that happens. It's an involuntary thing that we do. It just happens. And because as you blink, the next thing is just exactly what you would have expected, the thing that you saw previously. That's how editing should be. It should be just like, boom, there's the thing. It's what your brain would automatically think that it should go to. That it should feel effortless. It's like the next shot that you see should be the thing that in your brain says that's what the next shot should be. So if it's a shot looking at this person, when the other time for the dialogue, you go across to the other side, back and forth. And like you can do that with timing and everything.
Well, it comes from you watching it as an audience member, and you're so engulfed, you're so engrossed with the story, with the characters, with the environment, with what's ever happening, that you forget that there are actual cuts. The last thing you want to do is have your audience be taken out of the...
Unless you want specifically something like that. And I say that because, let's just take a very obvious and broad example of editing that you absolutely notice. In Darren Aronofsky's Requiem for a Dream. We talked about that a little bit earlier. and specifically what he got there, and he started with Pi, continued on with Requiem for a Dream. He's got a little bit of it in other movies as well. But what he is phrased as the hip hop montage, which was just kind of like that's when, whenever Jared Leto's character would get all high and everything, it would just go shoo, 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 into here's a shot of the heroin, here's a shot of things bubbling up, here's the shot of it going into the vein, the eye, iris on the eye going out, just going in fast motion and everything. So it was something that was while technically it does kind of come in that Blink sort of fashion and everything, it does call itself out to you and says, hi, look at me, I'm editing. But again, that's part of the storytelling.
So is that what popularized slow-mo shots?
Oh, I stopped right here because does this guy think that slow-mo shots started in The Matrix? Oh, boy.
I just watched The Matrix for the first time ever. Yes.
Wow.
I'm late to the party. The Matrix came out in 1999. We are in 2026. But at the behest of my friend, I needed to sit down and watch this franchise, so he bought me it for my birthday. I am now getting around to it.
Nice guy.
So what can I say about the first one that has not ever been said before? Nothing.
I was about to say, I don't think you can. That movie's been dissected to death and back.
It's awesome. It's a great action movie. The slow-mo shots in it, in my opinion, I don't know.
See, I would put that in an action movie. Yeah. If you want to start talking about, greatest action movies, you can put The Matrix in one of those categories. I'll put that up for a nomination. You can put that name in there. But when you're talking, Charlie's Angels.
Know of anything before it that really utilized them in the same way? And I know in the early aughts and the 05 to 2015 range, so many action movies were using that slow-mo stuff to
Okay, it's slow-mo stuff. Okay, let's talk about what he's talking about because he doesn't know what he's talking about, unfortunately. What he's talking about when he says slow motion is bullet time. And that was very unique. It was very interesting at the time because it was doing something that was kind of physically impossible to do. We can make dolly tracks that go around characters and everything, but you can't put your dolly, you can't put a rocket on the back of your dolly to, shoot your slow-mo shot, start on point A, and then come around a horseshoe to point B in 2 seconds while somebody just goes backwards like this. You can't just rocket ship right around that. So they had to figure out a way. So David Guetta, I think is his name, was the special effects supervisor on that movie. Came up, I don't know if he came up with it, but somebody came up with the idea of taking all of these 35 digital cameras, these 35 millimeter digital cameras, whatever APC sensor size that was back in the day. I don't want to get all fucking whatever. But set up all of these cameras on different levels of kind of tripods and stuff with blue screen and everything around in this circular fashion. And each one of those would be on a trip timer here. So it would go boop, 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 all the way around. So then you can take all of those individual frames from all of those cameras, stitch them together at 24 frames per second. And then you have this slow-mo panning shot that goes around that's impossible to get, an absolute impossible to get shot. And yeah, they figured out how to do it and they ran it into the fucking ground. I mean, so much so that it was in a Shrek movie, for crying out loud.
Really, I don't know, stylize everything. And again, I don't know, maybe it was popularized by.
That was funny because I would venture to say that when this guy watched Shrek, and come on, this motherfucker has seen Shrek, he didn't understand when Fiona jumps up in the air and they have that Matrix move. He didn't know what that was a reference to.
The Matrix, maybe not. Maybe it's something else that did it. But it feels like for me, The Matrix is what capped it off. Beyond that, the movie's awesome. Obviously, it's got Keanu Reeves. He's incredible. I love Keanu Reeves. I don't know anyone who doesn't. Is it safe?
I'm not I like Keanu Reeves enough, but people talk about Keanu Reeves like he split the atom or something, and I'm just like, he's all right, guys. He's not a fantastic actor. I'm sure he seems like a very nice man. I'm not going to call him a great actor now.
To say he's one of the best action stars ever after John Wick and
I will say that he could probably get within that category. You can talk about him in some of those things just because the man has put together so much perfection when it comes to action. And that is something, if you look at those Matrix behind the scenes and stuff, Keanu Reeves is very hard on himself. Keanu Reeves really wants to do a bang up job with these action roles and stuff like that. He's very hard on himself, and I think it shows. It shows in the final product.
Matrix. Well, I haven't seen the next 3 Matrixes, but
you can skip them. If you skip them, you'll be the happiest boy in the world. Fucking skip those films, dude. Watch this one movie and then go down with the idea that, man, what a banger. Because if Matrix had stayed the Matrix and not gone anywhere else past it, would we still be talking about that with the most glowing of terms today? We'd be begging for sequels, and if they said no, we aren't doing it, this is one and done, we're finished, this is the story that we wanted to tell. But no. That money truck was a little bit too attractive, so they had to pump it out.
I'll say yes. What I can also say, though, is the movie was a lot slower than I was expecting. I really was expecting a ratcheted up action movie with some sci-fi.
It's a sci-fi movie. It's not an action movie. I hate to tell you, kids. It's got a lot of action in it, but The Matrix, it's a sci-fi movie. That's not an action movie.
Elements. And what I got was a lot of sci-fi elements and storytelling that then capped off with some of the best action sequences, I think.
There you go. You figured it out. It's a sci-fi movie. It's got action instead of an action movie. It's got sci-fi. There's difference.
I mean, that last 40 minutes is just absolutely iconic. That being said, I was also very surprised to see how little of the middle of the movie was. Yes, we have the opening scene that's incredible. We have the red pill and blue pill, which is also absolutely iconic. But after that, in the kung fu scene with Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves, there isn't much in that middle piece that is iconic. It's a lot of the story and the meat of it. This isn't bad at all. It's just not what I was expecting going into it. I will say for me personally, in that
he's like, oh my God, they gave me a story. And I was like, fuck that.
Middle bit, it does end up dragging just a bit. I mean, the movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I will say for something that I was going into expecting whole on action, there was a lot of not action happening.
Again, I always try to tell people, you can't judge a movie by the expectations that you have of it, specifically if those expectations were not expectations that were anywhere remotely in the vicinity for the movie. Like, it wasn't selling it to you as that. Why did you take it as that?
But I don't think any of it actually ever detracted away from the story whatsoever. Of course, in this we have also one of the coolest sci-fi / futuristic concepts I've seen. It's also weirdly relevant to...
It's also one that was taken from a lot of animes. Hey, listen, man, in America, if you can't quite make your shit together, just go steal some things from anime. They ain't seen that before.
Today, which I thought was kind of interesting. And like I mentioned before, that last 40 minutes is incredible. The action sequences, the bullet time, the Matrix, as we called it when I was a kid. I never even saw it. I knew what the Matrix was. I knew the bending backwards and dodging the bullets. We all knew what that was. And also, I know you're lying if you say you never tried doing it yourself. Because I know I tried bending backwards and dodging bullets.
Oh, yeah. We had that in elementary school. It was called limbo.
And fell flat on my ass. Those last 40 minutes for me were just peak action, peak cinema. I loved it. Really shocked at the CGI for all of it. For 1999, it looks really great. I'll also say the practical effects all looked really great. Like, in general, this movie is awesome. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. It's incredible. It is going on my top 50 all-time list. Follow along for the weekly movie update videos to see where it falls and what's getting knocked off that list. But I love The Matrix. I'm excited to see the next 3 movies in the franchise. I know apparently none of them hit the heights of number 1, but I'm still excited to go into the universe and explore more of it.
I say watch the Animatrix as well.
Oh, and side note, because I just forgot, but like the agents switching into the people was like pure horror fuel. What the hell was that? I know, kind of random, but that's it. That's The Matrix. I love The Matrix. It's really fun. I had such a blast. I waited way too long. My friend was right. Whatever. I don't care. I'm not too proud to admit that. If you've seen The Matrix, which I'm sure most of you have, let me know what you think. What is your favorite movie in the Matrix franchise? Let me know what I have to look forward to. I appreciate you all following along for more.
Yeah. Just, you know, you don't got to watch them other ones, man. You ain't got to watch them others. Bitty.
Quentin Tarantino's Black Sun is so bad that it's preventing me from watching any of his movies.
This is Zay, I believe is his name. Zay makes some very interesting content on YouTube. Most of it not movie related. Most of it is actually accent related and stuff like that. He does a very good job of breaking down a lot of like different vocalizations and guessing where people are from. Zay, I would like you to figure out where I'm from, because I don't think that I have that. So, like, you could probably localize a couple of things, but I don't think for the most part that he would actually get where I'm from, because it was funny growing up in a small town and everything. So that's a little hint. But we had a person here that just said, I got in trouble in school a bit, as you might imagine. And one of the assistant principals looked at me one day and just, she asked me some questions. I answered the questions, and she goes, you ain't from around here, are you, boy? And I'm like, And at that age, I said, I grew up here for the most part, but I made a very distinct decision not to sound like you people, which is a real asshole thing for a kid to say. But I did say it, and I was telling the truth. That was not a lie. I specifically, there were a lot of accents growing up that I was just like, I don't want to sound like these people. So I made very kind of conscious decisions not to sound like that. Not that this is a fake voice or anything, but I just made sure that I was not going to be a person who said many of the things that were said around me. So I wasn't thought to be a fool. So Zay, if you can figure out where I'm from, based upon all of this word and stuff, I'd love to hear it. But let's see what he's got to say about Quentin Tarantino's black scent in the movies. I don't disagree. And this is the first time that I haven't had a pimp Quentin Tarantino video in here as well to kind of, I wish I would have had one this week.
I can't take anything he does seriously when I know that this video of him exists.
Now, I'm not that computer savvy, so if he had sent me something that
I'll get to the rest of the video later, but for now,
listen, man, here's the problem too. You get Quentin Tarantino around a lot of black folk and you get a couple of pops in them, it's going to really come out.
I'll pay attention to how he says the word computer.
Computer savvy?
Computer savvy now? Come on, girl. Put on some grits for me, will you?
Drops the final R sound, saying computer as computer. This is a trait of non-rhotic accents, most commonly found in white speakers in the South and in black speakers nationwide. And while Tarantino is kind of from
They do say computer around here.
the boundary of where non-rhoticity starts to appear in Knoxville, Tennessee, his speech is traditionally non-rhotic. Listen to how he says "for" in this clip.
The idea was that we would spend like 3 to 4 months in Tel Aviv and 3 to 4 months in Los Angeles. And then
So we already know he's on some bullshit, but let's continue. And
well, listen, you know, who amongst us doesn't do a little code switching every now and then? It shows people that you want to be liked and appreciated and welcomed by them. If anything, it's something that's at least meant to try to ingratiate oneself to others.
Before I go on, I want you to keep in mind that this is from an interview he did for BET for his slavery movie.
So if he had sent me something that I plug into my computer,
That was kind of subtle, so I'll play it for you again. Listen to how he says the word plug in this clip.
That I plug into my computer.
He raises that vowel sound, bringing it from plug to plug. And this is most common in Black California English. As a result of the interaction,
he's lived the majority of his life in California and hung around a lot of black people, as is his own admission and stuff. So it goes to figure.
Action between the Black American vowel shift, the low back merger shift, and the Southern vowel shift. It exists in other black speakers in America, but it's still most common in California. Listen to how Bay Area rapper Mike Sherm says much as much on Feel Me.
Blowing all these bands cause I got so much.
There used to be an outro to this video where I talk about Tarantino's controversies and why I don't like him very much. But I think they'll gain the video suppressed because I said some words I shouldn't have. So just Google them. He's like not a great guy.
Oh, he says a couple N-words. Who amongst us?
I haven't seen the movies.
Listen, I understand the black scent problem with it, and listen, it is things are it to pull an old John Fox. It is what it is.
The film is an accurate depiction of what revolution costs.
If film bros actually cared about cinema,
it shows us what it will take for the working class to rise up and topple the bourgeoisie. And there's a robot with a gigantic ass.
Some of y'all do be taking film just a little bit too seriously with stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just lighten up. Lighten up.
Is it just me, or are all movies now at least 2.5 hours long?
It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. I think we need to get back to 90-minute movies. And let me tell you something. There is something that is so lovely about being in and out and not bullshitting around and picking our nose and going through plots and other machinations that we just don't need to. There are so, like, you hear me on the podcast so many times. It's just like there are so many movies where you're just like, cut 20 minutes out of this. I hate to be like Harvey Scissorhands from back in the day, but sometimes you're right, and you just gotta chop out the chuffa.
What happened to a 90-minute movie where everything was concisely expressed in that amount of time?
We've gotten too far up our own asses. And another problem with this is that that also these 2.5-hour movies cut down on the number of screenings that can happen in a theater in a particular day. You're going against your own money, you ding-dongs.
And you didn't feel like you were wasting the whole day watching a movie.
No shit. Especially, like, listen, man, If you got to travel to and from the movie theater, you got to like. There's too much. Like, and then you got 2.5 hours. Your fucking day is shot.
I find it pretty wild that nowadays a 2.5 hour movie or more is pretty normal. Don't get me wrong, a studio wants to make sure that the audience member gets their money's worth, especially when they're paying $30 a movie now. I just think it's kind of wild that I haven't seen a 90-minute movie in a very long time.
They're out there. They still exist. I feel like only Karl Marx should ever say the word bourgeoisie. Here's another good one for you. Another great B word that's talking about people. Boulé. Look up that word.
It really is an appreciation for the look that Michael Bay creates. And I think that's why so many people, when the movie comes on, we mentioned this before, you know exactly who, you know it's Michael Bay.
And listen, that's why I like it. I know Michael Bay gets a lot of hate, and I think some of it is certainly warranted. But there is something auteur about Michael Bay, about the stuff that he does. So, you could not like it. That's perfectly fine. But there is something out there that when you watch it, you're just like, that is distinctively Michael Bay.
Because of the colors, because of the shots, everything, the way he just shoots it it's incredible to see these movies today compared to how crappy some.
I'm going to have to just pause this all in between here because these fucking assholes decide to put fucking Aerosmith music in the background like a bunch of assholes. What are you trying to do? Get everybody demonetized, you piece of shit?
Some action movies are. The joke now is Netflix makes really bad movies.
Netflix does make really bad movies. Again, so you got to pause this shit.
And it's not that they make bad movies. There's some great writing and some great shows. It's the
sometimes
shooting. It's the cameras. It's the lighting. It's like
no.
Is this this is a movie they shot?
No. Part of that is but part of that is also just the fact of digital filmmaking because everybody's fucking lazy now. And the path of least resistance is usually the easiest. So why not do that?
This with real, what you look at Armageddon, you look at Bad
Film, all shot on film.
Bad Boys, they look like movies, and
because they were shot on film.
That's the greatest appreciation we have. Is he does know how to make movies look really, really, really good.
Maybe the best. I mean, honestly, if you just look at a still image or a sequence from any of his films and you think in your brain this is what an action
fucking Aerosmith, why
blockbuster should look like. It's that's it.
This whole thing's gonna get cut out of this segment afterwards because all of a sudden the stream's gonna end and they're gonna be like copy strike and then I'm gonna have to strip this whole fucking thing out.
Really.
Jesus Christ. I wish I could yell at whatever the fuck your podcast name is because it's terrible. Fuck you. Never forget, Michael Bay was in Mystery Men playing a villainous frat boy. He has something worthwhile too for that role. That's true. He did, and he looked the perfect part for it too. The fucking hair and everything.
Favorite horror movie.
Okay, here we go. I always like seeing what people's favorite horror movies are, and we're asking this young lady, it seems like. Okay. Oh, look at it. She's like, oh no, what am I getting?
God.
What do you think? Is it going to be? It's going to be something very pedestrian. It's going to be something everyone has seen. It can't be. She's like, this girl's not going to go, I love Possession.
As above, so below.
No.
Okay.
Fucking way.
I know. Don't you hate it?
That's an intro. Wow. Okay. All right. Credit where credit is due, young lady.
It's garbage. No, it's one of the worst movies ever.
But it's not a cookie cutter answer. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy that that's not just like The Exorcist. Because The Exorcist is great, but she gave us a non-regular answer. Bravo.
I love it. No. I love it because first of all, I love any.
you're really ingratiating yourself to us, pal.
Thing that has to do not in America. So I'm liking that the setting is already overseas. It's the catacombs in Paris.
I don't want to see movies in America.
It's freaky, it's scary. It's like a reverse kind of almost psychological horror movie, which I like about that. It's one of the first horror movies that actually scared me. So I think that's why I associate.
Did you see it when you were 7?
It. Yeah, I mean, I saw it pretty young, but I've rewatched it since, and it still freaking freaks me out. I don't know.
I never watched that one, but it's like that's not a normal, regular, every person answer, and that's why I gotta praise you, man.
Smart TVs are the dumbest thing ever made.
That is correct. This isn't about movies, but it's more about TVs, which you watch movies on and stuff these days. Let's talk about it.
I bought this Samsung Smart TV last year. It's awful. What
Yes.
is even that? It is constantly showing ads or things I don't want to watch.
Why did you buy a smart TV? Didn't you know that this is what happens?
And the UI is horrible.
Oof, agreed.
Say I want to play on my PS5. You would think I just hit a button and it switches. Wrong. You have to navigate through multiple menus, and sometimes it works, and other times it doesn't.
Not for nothing, but you don't know how to switch inputs on your TV. There's a button specifically on your remote that you could just push and it goes HDMI 1, HDMI 2, HDMI 3. This is a failure on your hands on this one, bud.
At this point, I'm going to buy an Apple TV out of spite.
You should. The Apple TV is fantastic. I love the Apple TV. Is what I recommend to everybody, even if you're not an Apple head. Your picture's going to look fantastic. You're not going to get bullshit ads. You can rearrange things. It's got the best picture and audio quality of just about anybody else out there. I know NVIDIA Shield people be like, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. But an Apple TV is what you should be streaming on. It looks fantastic. Don't be a silly goose. Don't be a silly goose. Don't use all the streaming things. I got smart TVs. You know how often I use the apps? Never, because I bought an Apple TV because I'm an adult. I'm a responsible adult with $200 to spend on an Apple TV. So I know what I'm doing is actually going to look good and be usable.
Movie trivia. Which horror movie was the first ever to be nominated for Best Picture?
Now, I think first blush, everybody was probably going to say The Exorcist. I feel like that's the one that seems the most obvious, which ultimately tells me that that's what the answer is not, because it seems the most obvious.
Is it The Shining? Is it like a Conjuring movie? No. It's not gonna be a Conjuring movie. Best Picture. I'm guessing it's
a Conjuring movie. What? I'm sorry. What?
It's an old movie.
No shit.
Not like, I feel like it's not. Well,
Jaws.
No.
I mean, Jaws is a horror movie.
Horror movie. Is it like a slasher or is it like a actually scary movie?
Scary.
The Ring?
The Ring? This is why you don't let 12-year-olds have podcasts.
No, it's not The Shining.
No.
Can you give me a hint?
It's kind of based on, I think it's based on true events or some, like, it has to do with, like, getting possessed.
It is The Exorcist for sure.
That's a big hit.
I like how she thinks The Exorcist is a documentary.
Oh my God. I this is the first movie I thought of, and I couldn't remember the name. The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I should know that.
Doesn't my boy kind of look like what's his nut from Up? The little kid. What was that kid's name? Roger, something like that.
Jesus.
Well, I also feel like that's
hello, sir.
It's like
that's like one of the
horror
most
movies. Like that's like one of the like.
That's like one of the most iconic. I was like, well, after I said this.
Have you seen it? I wonder.
Shining. I'm like, okay, I know I'm missing like an iconic movie right now, and I can't remember it. And like, I thought of the face, but I couldn't like put the the name
Yeah.
to the face. Oh my.
See, it's not just me. Matt says he does. He does. He looks a little like the Up guy, who is adorable, by the way.
God, I should know that. Yeah,
He's
I've
an
actually never
adorable
seen that
character.
movie, but I know it's really.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. That's why he didn't say it, because he ain't seen the movie. Because it would be in your head. If you saw The Exorcist, you'd be like, all right, yeah, I get it.
Good.
Overshare. There you go. New episodes every week. They're out in all the places. Go check them out. Why don't you? All right. I think we got one more in our bag here. Maybe two. One or two more.
The album you have to rip to get into it. This is a
I like this. I thought this was kind of a cool idea. It makes me want to buy two of them because I'm that kind of nerd, but let's go.
limited edition reissue of Fight Club by the Dust Brothers. It's one of just 4,000 and it's printed in a limited edition colorway, pink soap. And the only way you can see this is if you rip the sleeve to get into it. Otherwise, it's sealed for good.
And I would get two of them. I would get one to open and I would get one to keep because I'm a nerd and a comic book collector, and that's how we did it back in the day.
The record comes in a yellow cardboard package with an IKEA-themed jacket. This was a nod to Edward Norton's character's obsession with keeping the appearance of being a normal, successful adult. To open the sleeve, a strip of paper with a penguin, his character's power animal, needs to be removed, and the sacrifice arrow torn apart, thus separating it into two pieces and destroying it for good. We'll put some photos in here of how it looks when it actually has been ripped, and some of the contents. Now, the outer sleeve can actually be opened in another way. You can separate the flap with the sacrifice arrow, but if you do, you get a message saying, stop trying to control everything and just let it go.
Isn't that awesome? That's awesome, because that was my first thought. I was just like, well, I'm not going to do that. I would do this sort of thing here. And they printed on the inside for you to not do that. Let it go. And just, and in a movie that's about like consumerism and stuff like that, and saying that, hey, you don't need these things. This is not what makes you a person. So great. So great. I would absolutely buy that. We got one more here. One more. I'll tell you what, everybody. We got one more short one here for you. Sorry.
Of how it looks when it actually has been ripped, and some of the contents. Now, the outer sleeve can actually be opened in another way. You can
I'm sorry, I accidentally rewound it a little bit because I wanted to make the joke. I wanted to make the joke. So, I'll make it. All right, we got time for one
I love
short
the Twilight shirt.
Oh,
yeah, thanks, man. What made you want to wear that? I don't know. I don't know.
Fuck you, Peter Dinklage. Fuck you. Hey, that's a nice Twilight shirt. What'd you make? I don't know. Peter Dinklage is such a fucking asshole. What an amazing actor, but what a piece of shit this guy is. I fucking hate this guy. I think he's a real doucher. And this interaction is like, what made you wear? I don't know. I'm fucking stupid. I close my eyes and I put on stuff in the dark.
What I wear in the, whatever.
See, fuck you, Peter Dinklage. I hate that guy. What a real piece of shit. I hate that so much. That is it, everybody. We got another TikTok Trash Tuesday in the book. And frankly, I'm glad that you came out and that you hit that like and subscribe button and all those good things. I almost didn't do the show tonight because I was kind of tired. I got a substitute teaching job tomorrow. Normally I'd be off, but I need a little bit of that extra money because it's draining fast around here. So you guys hitting that like and subscribe button really do help all this stuff out here. So really appreciate you. Love you so much. That is it. Join us on Sunday evening for another episode of HMP. We are doing our what do we fucking call it? It's our Tom Hanks rom-com series. Last week, this previous week, we covered Splash, and next week we're covering Big. We're doing Tom Hanks rom-coms in order. So go check all those out on HMP proper. We really appreciate you. And what are you saying here? Best take of the show. Thank you. We try to do some stuff around here. That is it, everybody. Join us next week when we're talking all kinds of stuff over there on HMP proper and back here on TikTok Trash Tuesday. Love you so much. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great night. Matt, yeah, Alex is right. We're actually recording on a Saturday as opposed to Sunday. I was wrong. So join us Saturday for Hanksathon. Adios, everybody.